One.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Imperial Holonet. I'm JID123,
And I'm with Leader Antilles.
And I'm Nero Cole.
and today we are going to do Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Before we begin, we're going to have a little bit of a long pre show tonight because we all have things to say about this movie, and I'll start with me first because I'm the host, and I call dibs. Haha.
Well, it's my channel.
Oh, yeah, that's true, but dang it.
Yeah, it's his channel.
Can I still go first anyway?
No, I want to save mine for last.
Okay. Wait, you said shouldn't that be yes? Because you want to save yours for last?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, Star Wars Episode 3 to me had a very special place in my heart in terms of Star Wars movies. Only two others have that saving grace. Because this was actually the first Star Wars movie I actually got to see in theaters. I saw it 5 times in theaters. And not only that, I have two questions for you guys that might enrich your Star Wars Episode 3 experience as well. Question number 1, which is something I did you guys see the 2D Clone Wars movie before Episode 3 came out?
The 2D one.
The show. He means the micro series.
No, I saw that afterwards.
What about you, Red?
I don't know because the second volume of that I had on DVD, and I don't know, those things and Lego Star Wars and everything are just so ingrained in who I am that I can't differentiate.
Okay, the second question then I want to ask you guys is, again, something I did.
So I guess I would say I don't know Star Wars Episode 3 outside of that.
Okay,
I even if I did watch it, I've watched that show and that movie so many times since that it might as well, it has no bearing.
Okay, well, another question I wanted to ask you guys is something else I did. Did you play the Star Wars Episode 3, the video game, before this movie came out?
Yes, I did, and I loved every second I played it. I used to play with my neighbor that game for hours on end, just us fighting at each other.
And it kind of ruins the movie in a weird way, which I didn't realize at the time. I didn't understand the concept of spoilers. I don't know why, I feel stupid.
Yeah, and the big thing with that was that movie, or that game has, I think it's, hold on a second while I grab the DVD case. Keep talking.
Well, anyway, I didn't understand the concept of spoilers at the time, so I didn't know I was kind of playing through the whole movie and spoiling it for myself, not realizing what was going on before the movie came out. But yeah, this was probably the movie I was actually most invested in it myself for terms of Star Wars, because I missed Episode 1 because I was too young and I didn't like movie theaters at the time. I don't remember when Episode 2 came out, so I can't remember what I was doing then. I don't think I was even into Star Wars at the time. But I was into Star Wars by the time Episode 3 came out, so this, to me, was like the real first experience of seeing a Star Wars movie in theaters, and I wouldn't have that again for a very long time until Episode 7. So that's why this is one of the few Star Wars films that's, you can't sway me on my opinions, folks. I'm gonna like this film no matter what. This film I could easily just watch again and again, and I had a love affair with this film growing up and just always watching it constantly for a long time. Like, I couldn't wait till I got the DVD, and when I got the DVD, I was like, put it on, just watch it again and again and again. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Episode 3, since Red's busy. Cole, you want to...
No, I'm not. I couldn't find it. But yeah, the thing is, that game came out a week before the movie did, yet it had, the big selling point for it was, it has, I think it was 30 minutes of footage.
Right, I remember that.
So people actually bought that game early, and people were putting up, this was before, right as YouTube began, but people were putting all over the internet.
I wasn't into YouTube at the time, so I wasn't...
Other stuff, all kinds of clips of the movie.
Right.
So everyone, technically they couldn't pull them down. So there were clips of it'd essentially be like if a week before Episode 7 came out,
the entire
every
movie got
single
spoiled.
YouTube video was Han dying.
Oh, well, that kind of happened, but you didn't see it. You just heard about it.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. People had access to it full on.
Oh, right. So, before Red goes into his spiel, Cole, do you want to say anything? Your prior experiences with this film?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
So, when I was a wee child, all my friends were talking about how great this one thing was, and that was Star Wars. And I always wondered, what is so great about it? I had never seen it, and I always wondered about it until one day I saw Episode 3 for the first time, and I fell in love with the series.
So
That
episode
is
3
my.
was your first episode then?
I believe it was.
Oh wow, it's gonna be interesting when we get to Jedi. Just cool.
And for me, episode 4.
Oh, you.
Unaltered editions, actually.
Oh wow. You,
Oh, really? That was your first experience with it?
Yep, the VHSs from the 80s was my first exposure at my nana's house. I watched them.
Nice.
Lucky. You started from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Cole, did you want to say anything else? Just like what you're feeling
That's
towards the film since you haven't seen it.
It's been years since I've seen this film. I'm really looking forward to what my views are like now on it because, as everyone knows, there's this movie along with the prequels are massively disliked by most fans. So it'll be interesting to see if my opinion still holds up.
Alrighty. What is your opinion right now?
What is my opinion?
Yeah, what's your opinion right now?
I think it's a decent movie. There are parts of it that I cringe at, but other than that, I enjoy it.
Alrighty. Red, time for you to go on your spiel.
This just I love this film like just as much, if not more, than Cap loves Batman '89. That's how much I love this movie.
Wow.
I just seriously, this is just.
If you were talking to me
'Cause
like
the thing
5
is-
years ago, that's probably how I'd be right now.
Well, the thing is, you have to realize something. I was 5 when this movie came out.
I was like, I want to say 7,
I was probably
Well-
6 or 7.
maybe 8.
Well, for me, 5-year-old with all these Star Wars toys and stuff like that, and Star Wars was everywhere, and there was the cartoon, the 2D show, and Star Wars was in Battlefront. Like I remember, actually, the first time I saw this, well, I wanted to see this film in theaters, but nobody was able to take me because the family stuff was really hectic at the time, which ties into how I saw it for the first time, which was that at the time, my dad had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and so when he was in the hospital on
11.
chemo. What?
I was 11. Sorry.
So when he was in the hospital, his brother copied onto a disc, burnt onto a disc, episode 3 when it came out on DVD, and sent it to him so he could watch it in the hospital. And I remember one time I visited my dad, and on the screen was, and this is like my first memory of this film, is Obi-Wan talking to that Utapawa guy who also plays Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Oh, really?
And that's actually one of the reasons I really love Utapau so much, is because it's such an ingrained part. It's kind of almost ingrained in it's such a major part of not just my childhood and stuff like that. It's just that shot always stands out to me, and just the look of Utapau has been such a fascinating thing to me as a kid. And also this movie, just I still remember that thing on StarWars.com that you could go to where you could put the action figures in their Khonshu grip pose. You can even have them doing their Khonshu grip kind of poses and everything, where they would move in stop motion and put them on backdrops. And in one case, even that giant Mustafar playset that they had that was amazing, that I still want to this day. And I have a Greef figure, I have the Anakin with Khonshu grip figure, I have I think an Obi-Wan figure. I have they had those things that each character came with a floor piece that you could that they each had a handle where you could turn them so they could swing their blades or they could move back and forth. I have those. I have so many things from this movie. I have Plo Koon's fighter. I think I have Obi-Wan's fighter. I have just those toys and everything were so. And I have a Yoda figure from that movie came out. I remember that. This movie and just the toy line and the stuff. It's kind of again with Cap and just the ads that how Cap always talked about the ads in front of Batman '89 and stuff like that. That's how I am for this movie, where I can't remove myself from the toys. And I had 2 of the same backpack for episode 3.
I remember seeing the first trailer at The Incredibles when I saw The Incredibles in theaters.
Oh, that was just. Oh, that the trailer was amazing. The dun 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 dun. Just
Yeah, the
everything
teaser.
about this film, the way it was marketed was amazing. And again, the video game was so important to me, and I remember like I had like a all my like pencil like as a kid like going to school like all my pencils were episode 3, like my pencil case was in my backpack was episode 3. I remember like there was this I actually have the Mace Windu I forgot about this. I had the for my birthday, I think when I turned 6, so that would have been the year this came out. I got the Mace Windu Starfighter and the Mace Windu lightsaber. It that lights up and everything, and like just that like those little things, those details and stuff like that about stuff that was going on in my life at the time that this movie came out
When did
informed so much of my enjoyment of this movie.
when did episode 3 come out?
2005,
Okay, so I was 11 years
May
old.
19th.
Okay, I was 11 years old at the time.
I would have been 8 or 9.
And I was only like barely 5.
Oh, jeez, dude, you're younger than all of us.
Yeah, you're younger.
It's yeah, that explains why I love this film so much. Like I was a kid, and also there's the fact that I mean that's kind of the reason I somewhat enjoyed episode 2 when that came out.
I enjoyed episode 1 when I was younger, but I saw all the prequels when I was younger, so that's why we all enjoyed them. I just skipped around episode, but we talked about episode 2 enough. Let's get on to episode 3.
Yeah, just this film is so a part of me as a person stuff it's interesting because I was scared to go back to this film for so long because the other prequels weren't that good, and also the other prequels weren't too much weren't things that I loved as much as this. And then going back to it,
When was the last time you saw this?
when Cap and Stan did their commentary.
Oh, okay.
And I watch this film probably 2 times a year. But like the last time I went back to this, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, I was kind of scared that it wouldn't be as good. And then I watched it, and every single flaw that people said was there, but it still holds up in the end. And I think it's a film where the sum justifies the parts.
I just don't
so-
care, I just enjoy it.
Yeah. So we should probably get into the film now.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird,
Yeah.
especially since I
And put
told
your thoughts in the comments.
yeah.
Yes.
People. I like what this film means because I know this film, for people of our generation, this film like people our age, it means a lot.
I can't
Like all
wait
of us
for
have stories about this film. All of us have,
I can't wait for the kids who grew up for all episode 7. So like Jason's age for
Well, Jason, this is I think Jason's favorite Star Wars movie according to Cap.
Oh,
Saw
wow.
episode 7 in theaters. Saw this more entertaining. Ha. Because you see that, and what's funny is Jason saw this for the first time when Cap was doing his commentary. Hey, Jason's 5, so actually he saw it at the same age I did. So it's
Funny
gonna be
how that
interesting to see.
parallels.
Like, yeah, Jason's actually just me. But yeah, just this film's so awesome. So let's get into it so we can see Mace Windu kicking ass
Okay,
and
everybody
Hayden
got.
Christensen crying.
All right, let's. Everyone got their timestamps at 000.
Yep.
Alrighty, and here. Okay, press play now. Up, 2 seconds. Few seconds.
There we go.
A little bit of lag. Okay, it's playing. I'm in 1 second. Were you?
Did anybody miss the
Dun-dun-dun.
20th Century Fox?
Yes, we talked about that in both our commentaries. It's so sad that it's gone. Coolio warned me about that. He was like talking about how sad it would be, and I was like, "Oh God, you're right. That's so sad." And then like watching the film, it was actually pretty weird going into episode 7 because nobody knew when the movie would actually begin because there was no dun-dun-dun. It just goes to Lucasfilm.
Star Wars.
Those times I was taken by surprise.
And I
Yeah.
figured it out actually. I figured it out.
What is y'all's favorite opening crawl?
Opening
don't-
crawl, like the crawl itself, or the opening shot.
The opening crawl.
I don't know.
Maybe this, just because I love the way the name Revenge of the Sith looks in that print. I don't know why. It's just a really, I don't know. It's just a dynamic looking name.
I don't know why I managed.
Also,
I don't know
War.
why.
The Republic is crumbling under the attack of the Sith Lord. I don't know. I like the fact that it opens with war and evil is everywhere. It paints a better picture of the state of the world.
Hey, look, a Clone Wars
Yeah.
title. Heroes on both sides. Haha.
Mhm.
I don't know
Well,
why, but
yeah.
I was able to somehow manage to connect this movie with the Clone Wars 2D show, and that just made a lot more. This made this movie a lot more sense.
I agree.
I don't know.
And
No, but I did.
you go ahead.
I don't know how I
I
did it,
s-
but I did.
I saw this. I saw those afterward. Especially the second half made this movie a lot more enjoyable. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. How it.
it didn't feel.
I'm
It
a
didn't
few,
feel like such a jump in.
I'm a few seconds behind you guys. I think I'm in 1 minute and 46 seconds. What about you?
I don't know.
Uh,
I'm
I don't know.
worried. I'd probably. Oh, and this is my favorite opening shot of any of the Star Wars films. Just the dun 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 dun, and just the awesome shot. Like this is a reverse. In fact, Episode 7 tries to do this, and I think this film does it better.
Yeah, I
With
like
the
episode 7 better.
because it's the same thing with the upside down Star Destroyer, except here I think it works better because you see Coruscant, and also this is all one big long opening shot.
Yeah, I
And
like
oh
episode 7
wow,
better.
CG here is not as good as I thought it was
This
on
is
one of
why
the
I always
turrets.
say this is my second favorite space battle. No, I say third favorite.
Here it looks
space
fine.
battle.
Here it looks amazing. But that first that one turret looked really crappy. Here, and this is I just want to talk about this right now. This opening scene is fantastic and completely sums up everything you need to know about the state of the galaxy at this point, everything you need to know about what the war has been like and the status quo and everything and what effect it has had on these characters and everything. Anakin's matured a lot more. The galaxy seems a lot more effed up. And I think here comes the kitchen sink. Yep, there's the kitchen sink. There is an actual kitchen sink hitting a Star Destroyer.
Why does the droid need a kitchen sink?
But yeah,
Oh, darn
and
it.
just I really like these ships and everything. Like this is such a hectic, chaotic battle, and it really gives you the sense of this is how just insane this war is. My only problem is, and this is something that I will always have a problem with, is it kind of just is like, oh, and now the freaky hey, it's Oddball, but like they're just kind of like, oh, and
I'm
now
a few
the
seconds
Separatists have kidnapped Palpatine. Like that's a pretty big event. The freaking Chancellor of the Republic getting kidnapped by the Separatists on Coruscant. Little battle, but I wish they played it a little bit more like, holy shit, this is a big event. Like the novelization opens with this brilliant prologue about like how there are droids on the streets. And like the fact that there are battle droids on the streets of Coruscant is just the most terrifying thing ever. People are screaming and running around, and just people have given up hope and they're freaking out. And then there's this just the intro of that book is amazing, where they're talking about like how
Like the 2D Clone Wars show did the second half.
Yeah,
well, it didn't show the battle. It just told us that. Well, it showed kidnapping of Palpatine, though, and that was good. I love Fordo's battle, but it didn't. Again, it didn't show like the people reacting. But like in the novelization, what we hear is, and I have read the intro to that a few times, and it's awesome because like they're talking about how, well, first of all, they state the Obi-Wan's called the Negotiator. I think Anakin's called. Oh, I forget what his nickname is. Both of them have nicknames, which they cut from the film. We'll get into that later, but
I still say
also,
this is my third favorite.
R4's death always messed with me.
Yeah, it's just a droid.
But it's funny because it's just
droid
like Hedwig.
hater. Droid hater.
It's just like Hedwig at the beginning of Harry Potter 7.
True, but you get 7 books of Hedwig.
You get a movie of R4.
We made.
Oh,
But
yeah,
what I was
I
talking about was like it opens with like the fact that like how Anakin and Obi-Wan have become just these iconic heroes who everyone just saying their names, they've become legends already, and how like if Obi-Wan and Anakin are on it, then of course we're gonna win because it's Anakin and Obi-Wan. They always win. They're always gonna help. They're always gonna save the day. And then like there's this thing of like the adults keeping quiet, and like the kids are like. You're like, don't worry, it's Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like they've been sent to help. They're like just hearing their names gives everyone hope. And then there's this whole thing about like the adults are like trying to make the kids calm, but like still are scared. And then what's great is like the final line is, but the kids are right and the adults are wrong. Anakin, and Anakin and Obi-Wan will win. They're I forget what the line is. Oh yeah, because the adults say there's no such thing as heroes. And then the final line is, but there are. But this is the end of an age of heroes, and it saved its best for last. And then that's the end of the intro, and it begins the book.
Cool.
And that's a really nice setup for this movie. This era was the age of heroes. With the original trilogy, people were doing heroic things from time to time, but it was this time of darkness and stuff like that. And this, even no matter how dark the galaxy got, there were the wholesome good heroes. And people knew they existed. Unlike with the Rebellion, where people didn't know what the hell was happening with them. Here, you get a good look at brave, heroic people being admired by the people of the Republic. People have not only are there good people, but people actually look up to them and get the chance to look up to them. Unlike in the time of the Empire, it creates a great contrast because with Episode 4, Vader just kills all of these people and it's just like, oh, and we disband the Senate. Like there is, even though there are heroes, they accomplish nothing, or like nobody knows nobody knows about their sacrifices. While here, in this time period, people do. People, look to these people for inspiration. They are idols. They are icons. They are legends. And it's a really cool idea, and I like the fact that the novelization does it better, but I think the film does actually a pretty good job of that. Would you guys agree?
No. I don't see it at all. But also, speaking of space battles, just for a second...
What do you mean? They're being all swashbuckling and stuff like that right here.
True, but I'm talking about all that civilians... Oh, wait. Speaking of which...
I'm not just talking about civilians. I'm talking about the fact that these, we're seeing brave, heroic kind of swashbuckling people. Like, even when Leia wins, she still loses. Her crew gets killed. Here, they're winning, big, heroic, epic battles without, there are losses, but it's not about the losses. It's about the fact that they still win because they're Jedi kicking ass.
I guess. Hey, where would you rank the Battle of Coruscant?
Look at Empire.
What would you rank the Battle of Coruscant in terms of your space battles? I always said it's my third favorite space battle.
What's your number 2?
Battle of, I guess, the Death Star battle, technically? Is that a
Which
space
Death Star battle?
The first one. 4.
I don't like the first one, even though it has Wedge. For me, this is my favorite just because it's so hectic and insane.
I prefer the Return of the Jedi battle, to be honest.
The Return of the Jedi is definitely a close second.
Yeah, it's for me the first.
I would say... This would probably be my second. The first Death Star.
Wait, controversial opinion time. I liked Episode C General Grievous over 2D General Grievous.
I loved Episode 3 Grievous until I even more than I think I just saw him as being slightly more of a pansy version of 2D Grievous. Like I knew it was different, but I didn't really care until I read the comics.
I still like 3 Grievous better. I just love the way
also, I like this
bridge. Oh, droidicas. Gotta love your droidicas.
I love that bridge. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, the bridge of invisible.
Also, again, like you see what I'm talking about, where Anakin and Obi-Wan are very, sly and cool. And also, they're invading the ship. Like, it's a nice little reversal of Episode 4, in a way.
I was listening to Zaz.
Also, it's a reverse Episode 6. I just realized that ship right there, that giant thing right there, is those things from Episode 1. I just realized that.
Really? I always knew that.
The droidicas?
No, the giant tank thing.
Oh, okay.
I remember somebody saying Zazubar from aka Zazubar YouTube saying that if they started Episode 3 like almost like a more abridged, a longer version. Let's see, how did he frame it? Like it could parallel Episode 4 with Palpatine getting kidnapped and paralleling Leia getting kidnapped, and it was something interesting. And I forgot how it went. Like you make the war a pre-trilogy thing.
I can kind of see that.
I forgot how he described it. It's in his Episode 7 review.
Yeah, don't you guys love how just like they're such kind of white knights in this opening?
Yeah, cool.
It does a great job of painting a picture of what they're like.
Well, I love their optimism. Their optimism really shows and it reflects on the situation at hand.
I always did like
again, like that's what I was saying about how it's very different than Episode 4 in a unique way.
Yeah.
And that's something I just really love about this era in general, is the optimism that no matter how dark things get, there are the people who hold up hope and stuff like that. And
I always thought the original trilogy had more optimism to it.
Well, with the original trilogy, it's more they have nothing to hold on to but that.
I think that makes it more powerful when you have nothing.
But the problem is they have nothing, and then they just easily, they have nothing. Look at how impossible things are, and then they always win with the Deus Ex Machina, and that's always what pissed me off.
Oh, I like that. I always prefer a good cliche. I just find more fun. Good guys should always win.
And also, there's a difference between there's something more optimistic about the fact that, there's an entire republic of good people, and, it gets very corrupt, but at the end of the day, there are still good people within that bad system. as opposed to in the original trilogy where it's just there's the good group and there's the bad group.
I prefer the good group versus the bad group. I hate complexity.
By the way, that oil
I
looks
love
kind of
this.
terrible.
I don't know. Yeah, that looked horrible. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that-
kind of prefer this just because the Republic has so many flaws. But at the end of the day, the people in the Republic itself are not horrible people.
I would prefer simplicity. Oh, I love Palpatine's chair. Like, I don't know. Did
Yeah,
they
but you
just-
can't always use simplicity is the thing.
Yeah.
Like you can't just base everything based on
Christopher.
On preferences because it's nice to have a twist on things. So you have the era that's more like that, and then you have the era that's more like this.
Oh, look,
It creates more of a
Christopher-
contrast rather than both eras being the same, which is why I'm kind of sad that Episode 7 I did not buy the Christopher Lee. That does not look like that looks CG'd, which is sad because I totally buy that Christopher Lee could do that.
It's Christopher Lee. He can do anything.
He could do that right now,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like today he could do that.
Krill, well, yeah, when he comes back from Mars. That's an inside joke, people.
Exactly.
That's an
Also, I love that line. Sith Lords are a speciality.
oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor's so awesome. Also, this fight is so freaking awesome in the novelization, and I'm sad that it's kind of short here.
I like it. I like
Is-
it.
His novelization,
It was cool in
he's
the game,
like
too.
expecting what Obi-Wan's going to do when he's like 4 steps ahead,
Mhm.
and then he realizes that Obi-Wan has become such a, so much better of a duelist than him. Where he's, using his Makashi style to just handle Obi-Wan's Sarisu. Because Obi-Wan's very defensive with Sarisu. And then all of a sudden he realizes that Obi-Wan has learned to use, I think it's Ataru. Might have been, we're just sorry, to jump so. I love Palpatine going, yeah! But yeah, you see how
Yeah.
easily Obi-Wan gets taken out here? In the novelization, he lasts like 5 minutes in this fight, and he nearly beats Dooku himself. And like there's this whole like big emphasis on the fact that like he
That
just
looks fake.
kicks. Yeah, I know it looks.
Yeah,
I
it
always
does
thought
look
that as a
fake.
kid. It's not even CG as much as it's just he looks too much like a ragdoll.
Am I the only one who thinks his legs should have gotten crushed by that?
Yeah, I always thought that as a kid because it pushes into like a leg. Like it.
Yeah.
It should be hurting, man.
I also like the fact that they talk about the. Oh, and I love how Anakin just used the main attack of his style, which is to jump so.
I have no idea what any of this is. Oh, look at it.
I don't either, but I'm enjoying
That's
this.
that right there, like the holding your lightsaber above your head and then striking down. That's what it is. Also, he takes down Dooku way too easily. For one of the greatest duelists in the history of good. He did the episode 6. Kill him. I just love. Like,
Did
how
they
do you
make
not?
this chair for Palpatine? Did they know they were going to cat him on? So they're like, okay, let's make our kidnapped person a very nice chair.
Yeah, I always thought that Dooku like made that intentional. But yeah, Dooku seeming scared, I don't like. I feel like, I don't know, I always felt like Dooku would be a little bit more welcoming of death in a way.
I don't know.
I feel like the Clone Wars Dooku would. This kind of seems like a very anticlimactic if you're just following the movies in this way. This death feels very like, oh, he's dead.
Which, to talk about Grievous, to quote something Jen Sarai said was really good, where George said that he wanted Grievous to be cowardly and stuff like that because he wanted to be the mustache-rolling bad guy, which is fine. If they didn't kill the mustache-rolling bad guy, he did tell him about that. And the Sand People, I forgot about that.
Oh, you didn't remember?
He did tell
Boy, I
He
remember
did.
more of this
I knew
movie
that
than
they
you
did
do.
the call. I forgot that he said that he had told him.
Oh, I remember that. Like, I got this movie, like... I had this movie, like, memorized in my head.
How is Obi-Wan not crushed?
Oh, my
I don't
favorite
know.
part's about to come up soon.
Also, I love this, the fact that Anakin's just like, no, either he dies or we die.
Oh,
Or, like,
here comes my favorite part. I
I
love
know,
this part.
God, that sounds horrible.
I love this
I
part.
mean, either he dies, either he, like, oh, and I love this right here.
Me too, my favorite. This is my favorite scene in the whole movie, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool, like, almost World War II kind of thing.
Yeah,
This reminds me a lot of, like, the Battle of, what's it called, the Midway or whatever?
I don't know, it just looks cool.
What's it called from World War II? The big battle, where
Well,
nobody could see where they were firing?
I don't know. I prefer the war in Europe, to be honest. I just love this scene, though. This is like one of my favorites in the space battles. I love how this... I always like the idea of the invisible hand being like a very broken down ship. I don't know why. I don't know, but maybe...
Oh, you see what I was talking about, though, with the invisible hand? How it has a lot of stuff added onto it on the top?
Oh yeah.
I can't tell. I can't see.
There was a shot where there seemed to be almost like another platform added.
Maybe. I
Like
wouldn't be
a
surprised.
secondary bridge above the other bridge. Look right there. There's a lot more going on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Which I love the model work. Oh, and I love R2 almost getting crushed by Obi-Wan's fighter.
And now we understand that Palpatine is athletic.
Oh yeah, which is something that I always love. Is his what do you call it? His ability to use damn it, I'm forgetting the name. Force augmentation. Force augmentation. But yeah.
That is going to be the scariest thing when you're suddenly running forward and then all of a sudden you're going down.
Oh, I love. That must be even scarier, though. In Obi-Wan's case. Also,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan like hugging Anakin there is hilarious. I'm shocked nobody's inserted like a joke there.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
No, I
sure
love
someone
that.
has. I'm
Again,
sure
this
someone
is like a serial. Like people, like this is why this is my favorite. This is why I like this more than episode 6. This is why this is my favorite of these finales for a trilogy, is because also that's a nice little reference to episode 4. Subtle, well done, just good.
There was a reference. I didn't know this. Oh, cool.
Yeah, because Luke uses the grappling hook,
Oh, cool. I didn't notice.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
and but yeah, what's really interesting. So in this case, the woman who is being held is Palpatine.
See, that's
This
Palpatine
is also a
is
reference to
Leia,
episode 5.
Also, that ray shield is way too OP.
Yeah.
Which they use it in they use these things in Clone Wars, but they make it a little bit more. Also, I love that say patience, like you being patient, like really, which they deleted a scene here,
hey,
which is sad.
Here's something I've always thought when watching episode 3 and trying to connect it to the 2D Clone Wars. I always thought General Grievous sounded like that because Mace Windu force choked him. And
That's what the idea is supposed to be.
Like Grievous used to sound very different before he.
That's what the idea is.
That's what the plan. That's what it's supposed to be. Straight up.
Oh, I didn't know.
Clone
that.
Wars changed that.
Oh, okay. I actually prefer this one anyway.
Do you have a plan B?
Again, like I really love just the wit of this film. It's actually a pretty sharply written film in terms of Obi-Wan and Anakin's dialogue. And again, so I was saying, this opening act does a good job of just showing the what do you call it?
The state of things.
No, like the relationship between the two.
The chemistry.
Yeah, what it starts with an R. The word I'm looking for.
Relationship.
No. Repartee.
I don't know, but
Rapport. Also, the Grievous thing. Like, this character just all of a sudden shows up and we act as if we're supposed to know him.
Yeah.
Ironically,
Also,
I didn't have that experience because I did know him because I saw the 2D.
I did as well. It's just kind of critically speaking.
Oh yeah.
Also, is this Anakin's first time meeting him? Because has he never met Grievous in Clone Wars?
Nope.
No, they actually intentionally had to. There were several situations where they had to write around that. Actually, where like there's a point where he and Padme get into an elevator, and then as soon as it closes, the other elevator door opens and Grievous comes out, because they weren't allowed to do that because Anakin says, "I thought you were taller." Also, I love this with the Magna Guard.
Yeah, I also
What's
love
funny
when they.
is in Clone Wars, people actually cut Magna Guard heads off and they die. Maybe this is because these are more advanced.
Maybe.
But I just love this scene. Again, as a kid, this like wowed me completely. Also, the droids bumping into each other. Just again, this film is so fun. This first act is probably my favorite act of any Star Wars film.
Oh, definitely.
Other than maybe the final act of Episode 6. Except that has Ewoks, though.
Nah, I prefer the final act of Episode 6. I love. There's just so much.
If there were no Ewoks, then that would easily be my favorite.
I can get over Ewoks. I always kind of found them endearing. Oh, I love this scene. I love it.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is so badass. And yeah, that wouldn't have worked probably, but who gives a shit? It's so cool.
Yeah.
Also, it would have been great if Palpatine. We should have had that in one of our Infinities. What if Palpatine had flown out and died?
Whoopsie.
Also, there's a scene coming up where something falls off the ship that they call great attention to directing wise, and to this day I cannot figure out what that thing falling off the ship was supposed to be.
We'll figure it out.
I'll point it out when we get to it.
But yeah, this right here is awesome. We're like, it's the Titanic.
Is it the escape pod you're talking about?
No, not
No,
the
the
escape
fact
pod.
that the ship's breaking in half. Oh, and look, these escape pods, they're cool. All of the escape pods on the entire ship. Really?
Grievous didn't care about his fellow crewmates. Makes sense to me.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I thought it meant that like all of them had been loaded in like I thought they meant like just that room. I guess maybe it does have control of all of it, but I mean, dude, there's bound to be more escape pods than just the ones on the bridge.
Imagine having to fly this ship and just get it onto Coruscant. That's got to be one of the
Oh.
most terrifying things you will ever have done.
Okay,
I
so
love we lost something.
Okay, where
Not
is
to
it?
worry, we're still
Where?
flying half a ship. Like I love what we went for the Optimist. Just again, this first act is just so fun, and it's so much better than the first act of Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Because that first act is completely pointless. Is that what you're talking about?
Hang on. Yeah, the thing that just flies off.
But that
I think
kitchen
that's just
sink-
supposed to be a.
Yeah, that right there. The whole
yeah.
that.
That-
Maybe it's the shield covering the windows.
Maybe it's the kitchen sink.
Which I love this where they go through the clouds and just, oh god, this is a beautiful shot right here.
It's a beautiful shot.
Like, people say the CG in this movie sucks. It's not bad at all. It really is beautiful. I mean, yes, it has some flaws here and there, and yes, it's overused, but holy shit. Also, the fire ships are really cool. Also, this pilot right here is awesome. I just like the fact that there are firefighters in space. Like the fact that they actually acknowledge that.
I'm sure they have to have some sort of fire department.
Which they have firefighter droids in Clone Wars that actually have firefighter colors.
That's awesome.
And they have hoses, and like one of the droids accidentally gets taken out by the hose. It's awesome. But yeah, this right here is awesome, where they just knock down a tower full of people.
And
Like they
nobody
just killed
cares.
those people. And this is the industrial district, right?
I don't know. I thought this was the airport.
The Atlantic Fence. Maybe it is. Also, that was an intentional reference to Steven Spielberg.
Oh, cool. You know, if you watch this and you watch the 2D Clone
Another
Wars Part
Happy
2,
Landon. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, just again, there's so much fun. My only problem is, I love how fun this opening is, but at the same time, it
look, the Millennium
kind of
Falcon.
hurts the fact that they've been at war for so long.
There's the Millennium
Like,
Falcon
Clone
dropping
Wars
off.
plays it. Like, here Anakin's all swashbuckling, and it kind of makes it fall weird. While in Clone Wars, Anakin's really, like, he's not emo and depressing, but
Which
he's
Clone
he's
Wars are we
effed up.
talking about? You got to be more specific, dude.
Both Clone Wars.
I never
he's-
I never saw Anakin in Clone Wars 3D with emo.
Not, I said not emo, but still depressed, or still dark. Like, he was a soldier, he was a warrior. He wasn't just here, it's cool that, like, I like him here, he's a swashbuckling hero, but it kind of is weird that then he all of a sudden falls to the dark side. Well, with both Clone Wars I buy that he would fall to the dark side, because
Attack of the Clones makes
wasn't-
you think he may fall to the dark side.
What?
Attack of the Clones would make you believe he'd fall to the dark side. Or that he'd fall in already.
Oh, wow, he just referenced Cato Neimoidia.
So
That's
this
cool.
always confused me as well.
Which we see
Because
later, but I guess that might be a reference to Clone Wars.
I thought it was a reference to Labyrinth of Evil, which contradicts.
Oh, yeah, probably
But
that.
isn't that contradicted by 2D Clone Wars?
I think so at some point. But, yeah, there was
Which came
Lucas's
first?
daughter, who's blue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, Jar
But
Jar.
yeah,
Oh,
back
really?
to the thing I was talking about with Anakin. And there's that guy from Clone Wars, the Twi'lek. But yeah, back to Anakin. What's interesting is, like, here he's a little too swashbuckling. Like, in 3D Clone Wars, the war has effed him up. Like, there's no avoiding it. He's very changed by the war.
And 2D
not
Clone
necessarily-
Wars, he's a psychopath.
But yeah, but look at 3D Clone Wars, like in the final arcs of that show, where he seems to have this weight on his shoulders.
Right.
Like, he seems to have been. But I mean, to quote Ahsoka, actually, from the Essential Guide to Warfare, on meeting Anakin for the first time, she says that he looks almost as if he has the weight of the entire galaxy on his shoulders. Like, that's. Here, he's a little too swashbuckling. And I think it would be great if we had a scene where he's swashbuckling during. Well, I guess he kills. Here's the thing: he kills Dooku, and that's what But I feel like they should have focused on that more. Like, he just kills Dooku, and then we never bring it up again.
Obi-Wan
Yeah.
never even brings it up, at least not in the movie.
And that's what I always found strange was that he says this is something Jedi would never do, and yet it isn't called to or it isn't brought up in discussion any. That it feels very, very jarring in a way. The fact that it's just kind of forgotten.
And here's another
I
scene
guess you
from
could.
the. And here comes another scene from the Darth Vader comic.
Oh yeah, and but yeah, just the thing is, I wish we showed Anakin as being a little bit more dark. Like, yeah, he kills Dooku, but it's after being taunted by Palpatine. I think it would have been a little bit better if maybe when if maybe when Obi-Wan was injured, well, yeah, we remark on.
In the book, they actually bring it up like once. Like Obi-Wan kind of feels a little disappointed, but even then, they don't really bring it.
Because again, like the thing.
They'll kind of cut out.
Yeah, because like the thing from in the 3D Clone Wars show is in 2D he's a soldier and he's kind of gotten at this point where he has anger issues and he rages out at times and
question.
Like look at.
Sorry, I was questioning. Sorry, a favorite scene of mine's coming up, but what did you think about when he killed Dooku in the vision in the final episode of Clone Wars? Oh, I love this scene, by the way. I don't know why.
That worked so well. And I'm actually... Oh, look, Utapau. Not that well CG'd at this point, though later in the film it is.
This is actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I don't know why, but I just love General Grievous arriving at his evil lair. There's just something about it that just... And with the music playing, his theme song. I don't know why, but I like General Grievous more than Darth Maul. I don't know why, I just always loved General Grievous more.
It's the arms. That's got to be the arms.
No, it's the cape. It's
the CG there's pretty bad.
It's the humpback.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the CG for this is pretty bad.
God.
Oh Lord.
I actually like this scene.
Oh my God.
This is actually my favorite scene in the movie. I don't know why. Just watching General Grievous get out of the ship. I love watching it again and again and again. It's the cape, actually. I love the cape and the hunchback. And of course, we get to see.
Maybe it's because this. Maybe if they had used. I wonder if they used practical effects for this. Because if not, this is obviously all CG.
Well, they can't really do practical with Grievous. He seems a bit hard. I mean, I'm
not talking about with Grievous. I mean with just the set.
Oh yeah, the sets are practical.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the lighting that makes him look kind of fake.
Grievous isn't practical, but the set is.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Anakin. The thing is, he has like moments of darkness, and then immediately afterwards he's swashbuckling. Like he doesn't have this. He doesn't feel like there's a way it's weighing down on him. He just like has moments of darkness, and then he's just fine. Like in 3D Clone Wars, they do a good job of showing, and in 2D Clone Wars even, and in the comics and everything, they do a good job of showing that it still has an effect on him, like beyond just he'll have moments of darkness. Like when he strangles Pongo the Lesser in Clone Wars, when he brings it up to everyone else, like his when he's just like what he says is he's just like oh, I did what I had to, and they're like, well, how did you get the information? He's like, I'm not going to explain, just I did whatever I needed to do, and it's done in such a way where it's not ignoring what he did, but it's more that he doesn't see it as a problem. It's spelling out his morality before it's just random moments of darkness. And again, the point of the arc was that he would cross that line to save Ahsoka. Which, again, Ahsoka being in this film would have made this film actually a lot better. Well, retrospectively, Ahsoka being here would have actually made it a lot cooler.
Well, you can't change the past unless you have a time travel. Yeah. Retrospectively, a lot of things would have worked better. I mean, to be fair,
yeah, like we have Anakin
dialogue.
Oh God, you see that we get that instead of a focus on how dark Anakin's becoming. Like here, we act as if now he's becoming dark again. Like he has moments of it, and just I don't like that. Like I don't like the fact that he's swashbuckling at first, and then all of a sudden he's evil, and then swashbuckling again, then all of a sudden he's evil.
Do you think
I wish there was a little bit more of he's a soldier. You know, like again in the comics and stuff like that, he has this attitude of he's this good hero and he cares about his men, but he's still losing a little. He still gets vengeful.
So do you think Anakin just had some R&R time right now?
Define R&R.
Lots of Force jokes.
Oh,
Oh God.
no, I did not need this in my experience with this movie right now.
Why
Also,
not?
this is like pre-Twilight, but how come nobody was complaining about the shirtless Anakin thing?
'Cause he wore clothes most of the time.
Because it's half clothed, I guess.
Okay.
They only show him without clothes once.
Unless you're counting 2D Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
that's
look at
true.
where he's. Oh,
But back
that's
then
where he
he's-
was looking. That's where he was looking. Okay, that looked awkward for a second.
What was he looking at?
He was looking at the necklace, and I thought he was looking somewhere else, and I was like, "Whoa."
Well, to be fair, in
Um,
2D Clone Wars, he was a psychopath choking somebody out, so that works.
Yeah.
That scene still horrifies me.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh Lord. Yeah, that would have been awkward, especially for a children's movie. Well, not a what was this PG-13?
The first PG-13 Star
PG
Wars.
13. Yes, this was the first Star Wars movie rated PG 13.
I don't think it needs to be PG-13, to be honest. I don't think Episode 7 needs to be PG-13 either.
Yeah, they kind of do because a character gets killed on screen in brutal fashion.
Yeah, I think Episode 7 kind of deserves it.
Oh, come on. Just
I mean, dude,
stab
he
it.
cuts a guy's head off
When did that? In Episode 3? In Episode 7?
in episode 3.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Oh,
And in
thought-
episode 7, there's blood and blaster bolts, which we never got before. But yeah, back to this.
And don't forget
Did
the
we
fire.
really have to make it about Padme? Like, did we have to have the reason he falls to the dark side be about Padme?
Love
It's-
does crazy things. People do crazy things when they're in love, but it probably.
But I don't buy that. I don't buy that they're in love with the thing.
I
But
don't
also-
buy it either.
I buy, and I was talking to Joel earlier about this. I feel like it would work for him to save Palpatine from Mace because of Padme, but him going as far as to storm the temple because of Padme doesn't work for me. You need to add more, and we'll get to that later. I'll talk in depth about that. Also, those steps, it's so depressing to look at now that we have now that we have Clone Wars.
What's wrong? Oh, right.
Yeah, the scene with Ahsoka. Which also, I love the fact that this scene shows why Yoda is just full of shit. Where somebody comes to him for advice and help, and his reaction is essentially to read something that pretty much he could have gotten out of a fortune cookie.
You should go, too bad you can't go to Obi-Wan.
It was great to contrast that to Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars arc where he's talking about Padme, and he talks to Anakin like a person. He treats him like he's talking to Anakin instead of just talking to anyone.
I just lost a train of thought. Dang it. Shoot.
Yeah, back to Anakin. Like here again, he's dark and it seems like he's having trouble.
Look, he's in the
but
shadows.
they're almost acting like now, like because of these visions, he's starting to have this weight on him. And I wish it was there from the beginning of the film.
But
Like I wish this is what just made. I wish there already was like kind of a weight on his shoulders, and that this is just the thing that made it go a little bit more. Like this is the thing that pushed him over the edge.
Do you think they could have made that work with the optimism though that they showed in the beginning?
Yes, because you could have it be kind of this thing of, he is this great hero and Obi-Wan's this white knight. And while, yes, Anakin is, a good hero, when people he loves are in danger, then he'll go across that line. Like, maybe have Dooku about to kill Obi-Wan and have that be why he cuts his head off. Oh, cool, they mentioned Boz Pitti. And Saleucami. Oh, Master Voss? They mentioned Voss? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I think I remember Voss being mentioned.
He says Master Voss in Boz Pitti, which Voss had his troops on Boz Pitti in the Clone Wars comics.
Did anybody?
You actually get to see that battle. That's where Ventress gets hurt.
Interesting. Hey, did anybody?
Oh yeah.
Did anybody ever see the deleted scenes with Padme starring the Rebel Alliance?
Yes, and that should have been kept in the film. Same with the Shakti death.
I don't.
Oh, was Shakti killed in the deleted scene?
2 deleted scenes.
I never saw the
really?
deleted scenes.
One where Grievous stabs her through the neck,
Oh, that one.
and another where Anakin stabs her through the neck.
The funny thing is that's in the Lego Star Wars game.
Exactly.
Anakin-
Lego Star Wars was actually made before the final cut, so they kept that in.
That's hilarious.
There's actually a deleted scene with this thing. This scene had more stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. You see, like Anakin I feel like Anakin started to dabble in the darkness and stuff like that, and like the problem is they act here like all of a sudden he's starting to have this weight on his shoulders. Except the thing is, he already did have a weight on his shoulders for one token scene. Like, he cuts Dooku's head off. So either play it as he's completely optimistic, or play it as that he becomes dark, or play it as he has a weight on his shoulders all the time, and this then pushes him over the edge. Because it's like they want to play it like he's this completely good swashbuckling hero, but then they have him cut off Dooku's head.
It's like what they did with Luke. Then they had Luke cut off someone's head.
It's what you're saying is it's totally at odds with itself in a way.
Yeah. And again, 3D Clone Wars and even 2D Clone Wars sometimes could find a balance.
I think 3D Clone Wars did a pretty good job.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, also the novels and the comics, like Anakin will cross the line and do some horrible things in those comics, but it's always because people he cares about are in danger, and because also this right here, I'm with Anakin on this. This is bullshit.
Pretty much the bottom line is everything else writes Anakin better than the films.
Yeah, right here, he's completely right, because they're manipulating him into spying on a politician for the Jedi's own ends.
Yeah, agreed.
They're using him as a tool. They're treating him like he's just another weapon for them to use. And that's just... That you kind of get why Anakin hates the Jedi. But my problem is, when Palpatine talks to him later, it's all about Padme. They said... That's the sad thing. Lucas set up several things, several reasons, but then he drops them all for just the Padme thing. It should have been all of these things. It should have been... And again, there should have been more focus on the tragedy of the war. We should have seen a little bit more as to how bad this war was. Well, they're winning the war, so but you still should. There still should have been a little bit more of a focus of.
You can win a war and have consequences. Still, you can.
Well, or at least the fact that
defeat
the war is the fact that the Republic isn't. It's not just the Jedi doing things there. The clones should have had maybe a little bit more focus as well.
This is before clones.
We should have focused a little bit more on them as generals, because here they're just kind of swashbuckling heroes. It should have been a little bit more of them as actual generals.
And the Clone Wars 3D series is Kashyyyk. I assume there's stuff with Kashyyyk in it, right?
A little bit, not much.
We don't get to see Kashyyyk, but we do get to see Chewie at one point.
Huh.
They were gonna have Kashyyyk though later in the unfinished stuff, right?
I think so.
Hey,
because I would have liked to see, huh?
Oh, I thought we were just gonna say, Cole, you haven't talked in a while. Got anything to say?
I agree with a lot of what you're saying, especially to the Dooku part. I feel like that could have worked a lot better if we had him maybe go to the council and them to talk about the situation at hand. I feel like that would have put a better emphasis on where he's at as a character.
For anybody who's watching this and who's watching this without watching the movie, we're on the scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan are talking by a window in Jedi Temple.
Yes.
Yeah, this right here, he's talking about how, the Jedi, are doing things off the record and stuff like that. They're talking about, our allegiance to this is the Senate. Is it, or is your allegiance just to your own ends? Is it to the Senate, or is it to how the Senate treats you? And that's kind of the thing you have to think about with the Jedi here is, yeah, I love it. You're asking me to do something against the Jedi Code. You say, you have to be like a Jedi against the Friend, against the Republic. And Anakin's completely right here. The Jedi are doing something really awful. And heck, I would probably do this if I was the Jedi.
I would. Yeah, probably.
But at the same time, you completely get where Anakin's coming from, where it's, I'm okay with characters crossing lines, and, sometimes I know that you have to cross a line. But the thing with the Jedi is they cross a line, and then they say, oh, it's okay because we're the Jedi. Somebody else crosses that line, oh, it's wrong.
It's always funny how
we're the Jedi, therefore it's right. If somebody else does it, they're an evil, horrible person.
It's kind of funny how Star Wars has had this, theme, and I'm not sure if the new one's going to have it. It could be, I don't know, where the grown-ups are always wrong and the kids are right. I mean...
I've talked a lot about that with Dumbledore, I've always thought, where it's a lot like that.
How so?
Dumbledore makes a lot of comments about how, I love this scene right here, all the landing platforms and the turbo tanks.
Well,
Dumbledore makes a lot of comments on the fact that, I love the Phase 2 clone armor and the Wookiees there and the turbo tanks. Oh, the AT-AT. Oh, I love this shot. I love the Republic military. But again, that should have had a little bit more focus. But
You can talk over
Dumbledore
this.
talks a lot about how, like, I forget what the quotes are, but, like, how it's, the fault of, like, older people like him to forget what it is like to be a kid
I don't think he ever
and
said
to
that,
make mistakes.
but I understand. Yeah.
Like Dumbledore always talks about, like he always says the mistakes of an old man. Like he always referring to himself and stuff like that. Like he always talks about how Harry's wiser than him and stuff like that.
I think the original trilogy has that a little bit more, but I don't because Anakin. Well, Anakin's right, but he still goes to the dark side. I mean,
Yeah.
I think in the original trilogy, it's a bit more easily spelled out because Leon and Yoda. Or,
Oh, she's like, let diplomacy resume. Yeah, against the people who have sadist leaders
yeah, I'm
who
sure
keep
General Grievous.
Padawan grades.
I'm sure
Like
General.
Padme is so annoying in this scene.
I'm sure General Grievous is a good negotiator. I think he has the patience for it.
Also, I just noticed something, but I think this line that Padme says, where the war is a failure to listen, is supposed to be a callback to Episode 2, where she and Anakin are discussing the whole how politics work.
Mm-hmm.
I never noticed that until now.
But I like when she's like, we can get away from the war and stuff like that. And I kind of wish we had focused a little bit more. Like all you need to do is focus a little bit more on what we got in Clone War, on 3D Clone Wars, where Anakin almost doesn't want the war to stop. Like the war is just part of who he is. He is defined by the battle. He's defined by combat. His troops he cares more. He's closer
George
emotionally
Lucas
to his
cameo. George Lucas.
Yay, George and his daughter. He's almost closer to his troops than he is to Padme. Oh, and look, there's one of the Red Guards. I
Red
love
Guard.
that cameo.
Regardless.
Also,
Awesome.
it's from what you're saying, it's almost like the 3D Clone Wars has a more mature view of how that works, whereas this movie has a more childish view of how that works.
Hmm.
Well, I was just gonna
Also,
say.
that's one of the greatest things.
I mean,
You know what the scene is, right?
yeah, the theater scene. It's probably one of the
And
greatest.
yeah, in Episode 7 stuff.
Nostalgia
Plagueis.
put it as number 1. Oh yeah, Plagueis, or Snoke, or Ezra, or Darth Maul, or the Inquisitor. Oh, I want to make that joke later. We'll make that. I'll make that joke.
Also, is that bald person supposed to be the person from Episode 6?
No, I don't think so. That's just
Okay, I was wondering.
That's
Just
a
another bald person. Palpatine hangs out with a lot of bald people.
So, like I was saying earlier about the whole adults versus kids thing, I think the original trilogy spelled it out just a little bit better because, like Yoda and Obi-Wan were going to say "kill Vader," and Luke didn't kill Vader, and that's actually the right thing to do. That wins the day. Love prevails.
I have to admit,
In this case, love slaughters a bunch of children.
Yeah.
Well,
Which I think, again, you can make a mature. Clone Wars kind of does this with Ahsoka. A mature statement on the fact that sometimes you have to be willing to let go. Because Anakin's love for his Padawan causes him to strangle people and I'd strangle somebody. I think that's okay to go far for one point. But he goes far over and over again and tries to justify it. Like he tries to justify his own actions instead of just saying, I crossed the line and I know what that means for myself and for my soul. But instead he just pretends like it's okay. It's kind of like Cisco it's kind of like the opposite of Cisco in the Pale Moonlight.
right.
Where Cisco does a horrible thing and he just says, I did what I had to. I'm not justified, but I'm doing what needed to be done.
Ugh.
It's not about being justified, it's about doing what needs to be done.
Now, what's y'all's opinion about the fact that this is the idea I always had before I ever knew anything about Plagueis, is that Palpatine made up the story to sway Anakin? That might seem convoluted, but for some reason when I was a kid, that's always what I thought of.
As a kid, I always thought that Plagueis was his master, which was true, obviously, in the end.
That's what I
But
thought
what was
too.
great was, when this film first came out, nobody knew that. Nobody knew for sure.
Well, actually, I was pretty convinced. I mean, I didn't know he was around by episode 1, but I just always thought this.
Well, we didn't know that any of that stuff until 2011, though.
I mean, I know that, but I always thought it was his master. Like, oh, this is where Palpatine learned all his evilness from. Is he an eviler person, or just this wise person? I mean, I know he's an evil wise person, but
Have
Oh,
you
this
ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the
the
Wise?
wise. Always like
Yeah,
calling.
now it begins the greatest scene in probably the entirety of Star Wars.
I was like calling him the wise.
Not a story a
Like
Jedi would tell. And that's another thing. The Jedi kind of hiding things from themselves, and the moment somebody figures it out, they end up falling to the dark side because of that. So powerful, so wise. Once again, the Supreme Leader is very wise. He's supposed to influence the midi-chlorians.
You think Snoke's influencing those midi-chlorians?
Life. Possibly to create Rey. Who knows?
Well, I wouldn't
Isn't
mind.
it that
Knowledge of the dark side.
in the comics, didn't Plagueis impregnate Anakin's mother?
That's in the
No,
book.
the Force did because Plagueis was dicking around with the Force to make himself immortal. So it was the
Oh,
Force's way
dude,
of.
you just realized you started a fanfic craze, right?
Oh God!
Oh Lord! I didn't even realize what I just said.
Abilities some would consider to be unnatural.
Oh,
I always wanted to insert that into like a shampoo ad, like all natural, unnatural.
Oh, I'm a few seconds behind you. I'm a few.
Use his power. Just he's so sincere right here. And what's great is I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's manipulating. He's just telling them straight up the truth.
Well, not the
And
entire
everything
truth.
he
It's
says,
just truth from
that's
his point
what's
of
so
view.
scary about Palpatine in this movie. Nothing he says is a lie. He's more upfront and truthful than the Jedi, yet he's the bad guy, and that's what's so terrifying. Everything he tells Anakin, he's right about, and that's just so scary.
Oh, here comes the line. Here it comes. Here it comes.
From a Jedi. That's
Not
seriously
from a
favorite line.
Jedi.
Wait, this shot really here is really cool.
Oh,
I love look at. Finally, we get to see Kashyyyk, and dear God, was it worth it?
I love the Battle of Kashyyyk, even though it's like 5 seconds long.
So good. And in fact, it's like 10 minutes if you go with the storyboards. And yeah, like all the turbo tanks and like just this is what this movie should have been. Is this kind of like we should have seen, or maybe we should have seen a movie in between. Like we shouldn't
I
have
always
like
argue for a movie in between.
exactly like we should have seen a more focus on just the hellishness of the war and show Anakin as a leader and as a as a combatant and show that he has come into this place kind of where he's he's grown to being a great general, but he also kind of has his anger issues and stuff like that. He's a swashbuckling hero. Like you could open this film with him being a swashbuckling hero, and then than have the Dooku scene, but then don't just move past it. Have there be another scene afterwards, or have there be another moment
Have the
about
Jedi
that.
Council scolding Anakin for killing Dooku. There.
Yeah.
Have someone scold him for killing Dooku. Come on. Just kill
Fan
it.
fiction idea.
Well, not
Anakin
just
goes
somebody,
to
not somebody
Utapau.
scolding him. I don't mean somebody scolding him. I mean Anakin doing something dark again, or Anakin wanting to do something really dark.
Oh look, you can see the Trade Federation flag of plane ships in the background.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, also
That's
Commander
cool.
Bree is awesome. His armor is so cool.
What do you ever think? Wonder what happened to Rex at this time?
Probably the Siege of Mandalore.
Well, why would he be at the Siege of Mandalore still? Wouldn't he be?
Well, it had ended, so he's probably already landed on that place. And yay, we get to see the gunships and these droids and just I love this, especially because it's reverse D-Day.
I used to play this during.
Yeah.
Did anyone remember playing this in Battlefront 2?
Oh my God, this is so hard in these story
Yeah,
modes.
so that's
Oh
a
god, I hated that.
it's a pain in the butt on.
Oh, and you see that one clone get shot every single time, and it's so annoying. But yeah, that. Why do they do that? I don't know. Is it awesome? Hell yeah.
I like. Oh, I love the scene. Oh,
Also, we gotta call to this scene because this is the
I
final.
love Yoda
scene
almost
where-
getting shot. Also, this is an awesome moment.
This is also the final scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan are on the same side.
Yeah, and also, I love just this is actually the next time we see this in the comics, it's Anakin talking to Palpatine about the slavery, about the fact that they're having slaves. That's really interesting. But yeah, I really like this area right here. It's just cool that it's a nice little thing to show stuff going on in the background and everything, and to have Anakin and Obi-Wan talking to each other, and again, like you can see, like I like the fact that we see, we set up why Obi-Wan's so proud of Anakin, but again, we should show a little bit of that maybe being ignorance on his part.
I think
Like
there's
he has that
something.
"I have failed you, Anakin, I have failed you," but I don't buy that as much. In Clone Wars, I totally buy that. Even in 2D, or especially in 2D Clone Wars, I buy that.
Ooh, in
Uh,
2D Clone Wars, Anakin should be Darth Vader already.
well,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That Obi-Wan did fail him even more than before. But yeah, I love that. Like that, this scene right here is really good. And again, like you could play this more. Like, is he? I never forgot. Like, is he disappointed that he's not battling with her, or is it the face of him disappointed because he doesn't want to abandon his master?
Maybe it's both.
I want it to be both. I don't know though. Is the thing. I can't get into this guy's head enough. Also, I love this Hainer right here. Holy shit, I love this Hainer. I always love the way this Hainer is. Just the look of. Also, his second ship is really cool. Oh, I just realized there are clones up there fixing the gunship.
There's Commander
I
Cody.
never realized that.
Oh, and there,
And like these clones that aren't using any, just oh my gosh, these look at how unique and cool the ships and everything are in this movie. This should have been the movie. It should have been like, I like the opening scene stuff, but maybe have Anakin when Obi-Wan's off in space, have Anakin also be off in space, and have him be doing some dark things.
I don't know what kind of dark things you'd have him doing, but okay.
We'll have him like trying to protect his men.
Oh, right.
And like have him in the middle of a battle and like so many people are getting slaughtered. You just have him like even if he's fighting battle droids, just have him start to lose it in a battle where he's just giving into the dark side a little bit. Like maybe even have a flash of yellow in his eyes.
I wonder what Anakin's playing with his Game Boy.
Wait, Obi-Wan's been here? When? When was Obi-Wan here?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe he will.
He came. Padme says he came by the in the. Oh, that's a good point. Have a.
Oh, maybe that's what he was looking at. He's like,
Maybe.
Maybe
The
there's like a log of who came in.
That might-
Also, a lot of time seems to pass.
How
Because
much?
Padme's like Padme gives birth by the end of the film, and she's not even showing in the beginning.
How much time does pass in Episode 3? Does anyone know? Does the book say?
Which again, that no, we don't.
We don't know. I don't think.
Which again, what you could have done is have there be a point where for a month during the film, Anakin goes off and has a battle. Like you could have just shown us a brief, just one or two scenes of while Obi-Wan's doing this, Anakin leaves for just a while, not even going into the Outer Rim, just doing something in the core worlds where a lot of people die, and like maybe even have like there be a bunch of civilians, and like maybe have there be a scene of like all his men get killed, and he's like the last guy standing, and like his reaction is just like he's just totally terrified of the fact, or not terrified, but like the fact that he lost all his men just messes with him, or something. Like have something like that. Like, show the fact that the war is wearing down on him, or the fact that he thrives in war, and that he thrives in combat.
Yeah.
Utapau.
Utapau. And all its CGI
looks a lot
glory.
better right here.
It does look a lot better. And now it actually looks practical. Some of it does.
It's probably model work. Also, the Magna guy there looked really crappy, and it looks good right there.
It looks better in shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You said this guy plays Kiadi Mundi?
Yeah, I think one other character.
No, I don't think that's true. I saw this is a different actor.
No, it's not. It's definitely Yadi Mooney.
I don't think it is. I saw the behind the scenes features.
You can do a lot with face makeup these days.
That is true. Hey, look, they had the crying emo eyes too.
He played. Hold on. He was in Phantom Menace as well. Hold on.
Oh, was he?
Hold on. He played. I think he played Newt Gunray.
Yeah. I know
Oh, wow.
the best character.
Oh, he played in. Ooh, that's awesome. Keep talking.
Newt Gunray, the best character in Star Wars. Phantom prequels.
He plays Kiadi in Gunray. Oh, maybe he didn't play. This guy played somebody else though. I know that.
Also, a nameless droid that we have no idea who it is.
Not R4.
Yeah,
He
it's not
played
awful.
Lot Dodd in in Phantom Menace, and he played Viceroy Gunray. Hold on.
I hope y'all are comfortable because we're going to be here for a bit.
Oh, I'm sitting on my bed, so.
And how did he get out of there? How did Obi-Wan get out of there?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, he can jump. I mean, he does have a good lay of the land because of Clone Wars.
It's true.
What is this thing called again? The thing that Obi-Wan rides?
The bow something. Boba, I
remember-
think.
I had
Which
a friend
it's
who had a
called. It's called a lot like Palkia in Pokemon Diamond and Pearls in Rise of Darkrai.
Oh, pick on
Which
one of my
I
favorite
love.
scenes. I love General
Just because
Grievous
it's-
over there.
It's Pokemon referencing Star Wars.
Oh, it's
Also,
New
yay,
Gunray,
Wat Tambo, Hog the Lesser, Luke Gunray, Sand Hill,
the Separatist Council,
Aqualish.
New Gunray.
Yeah, you really love the Separatists.
one of the
Yeah,
funny
I
things
do.
about this movie is that just having a person having 4 lightsabers was always a neat idea in my mind, and seeing that happen was just a really cool image to really solidify this movie.
I like how they hint how Gunray hates Grievous, and Grievous hates Gunray even more.
Is that apparent in Clone Wars?
No, but it's in the Labyrinth of Evil.
He hates him in Clone Wars.
Well, yeah, but it's not something they dwell on.
Oh, the
Grievous
Techno
Entry
Union's
gets a
there
plot
too.
points.
That's true.
Techno Union's there as well. I didn't notice that.
Also, how did he get his thing back? Obi-Wan.
Yeah, what thing back?
The cloak. He throws his cloak up here, and then he gets it back at the end of the film.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's another cloak.
No, because he gets it back on when he's like immediately when he lands somewhere else, right?
Oh, right.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
love
a good
this scene
point.
coming. I love the General Grievous duel. I don't care how pointless it is. It's great.
Yeah, and people say that it makes no sense that this is what he does, but aren't the Separatist leaders like just leaving?
Yeah, they
Like,
are.
he doesn't want to risk there being a bunch of blaster fire. Is how I always took it.
I never thought of it, to be quite honest, but I do think this is cool.
Also, I love how you see the head cuts off there and it's fine, or it dies. But then before when he cuts off the head, it doesn't die.
How tall is General Grievous?
Pretty sure he's like 7 foot.
I really love General Grievous.
And yeah, this right here where he stripped for Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, more fan fiction.
He's 7'1".
Oh, okay.
You said strips for Obi-Wan. You just made more
I
fan fiction.
know, which a lot of people have done. Oh, look, it's the Sarisu pose.
General,
Obi-Wan's
no.
doing his Sarisu pose. But yeah, well, a lot of people have done that in
I
the Star
ship-
Wars universe. I mean,
I shipped
it's Ewan
General Grievous.
McGregor. Joel, what would you do? It's Ewan McGregor.
That's true. I mean, I shipped General
Which
Grievous
also
and
is
Obi-Wan.
Ship General Grievous and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
The fan fiction of the century, right there.
I don't know how it'd work, but I would.
Also, this is so awesome. Just Obi-Wan is so freaking cool right here.
I love the music,
And
too.
according to the novelization, he is blocking 14 blades per second.
Ouch.
I love the music, too. I love General Grievous's theme.
Also, the droids walking beneath them, that's a nice touch. Just all this stuff. In fact, the Utapau thing this duel was supposed to be, like, again, 10 minutes longer. They had to cut a lot of it
Probably,
from the
probably a good idea.
Also, I wish he had saved some of those lightsabers, seeing as those were the lightsabers of his friends and fellow Jedi.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I mean, that's what,
That's-
what's his face does that in, Kit Fisto does that with his Padawan Nadar Veb's lightsaber.
Where did that happen?
Clone Wars. He gets it back from Grievous.
Oh, cool.
Also, the crab droids.
We
And-
don't,
and
do
all-
we,
and
see
the,
those,
uh,
we don't see those in Clone Wars, do we?
We don't see what?
The
We
crab
see them
dro-
briefly.
I must miss them. I love this close-up.
Oh, and I love this close up of the eye. And just,
Yeah.
the fact that he has no force sensitivity. So, of course, you could just throw him around like a ragdoll.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that there are just a bunch of... The fact that... I love that. But the fact that we get to see the... what do you call them? 222nd Attack Battalion is really cool.
I remember playing
And
this
the
in
airborne
Battlefront, too.
I love this
Also,
little.
Wasn't
I always wanted this as a kid.
I wanted that cycle thing that Grievous drives. It's
That's
such
what
a,
I'm talking about. That thing. It's so cool.
I had a
Also,
toy of that.
Did you just see the clone bitch slap?
Yeah.
Droid?
Yeah.
That was so awesome. You see, that's why the clones are so. Also, I love the fact that the airborne troopers are just running by. Oh, that poor guy. Those poor airborne troopers died, but they're so cool. Which, by the way, this was so lackluster in Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish we had gotten a better Utapau thing in Lego Star Wars.
Also, Cody died there, which pissed me off. Also, I love poor Cody.
No,
Like,
Cody
Wait,
Cody's
Cody-
alive.
Cody's just like, oh my god, it's raining Jedi.
Cody's
It's
alive.
raining Jedi.
Oh, I see what you meant.
Hallelujah.
I thought you meant he actually died. I was like, wait, no, he didn't die.
He dies in the Lego game.
Does he?
Oh.
Because Obi-Wan goes to does Obi-Wan go to touch him or something and he's dead.
I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
I haven't played that game forever.
Ayla Sakura.
Yay!
A character who I forgot to talk about that in our Infinities is what if she was his Anakin's master? I always thought that would have been that wouldn't have worked because she was 10 at the time.
Yeah.
I always thought it would have been nice though to have wouldn't it be interesting if he had the relationship to her that Qui-Gon did with Kiedi Mundi? I mean Plo Koon, where they're very close friends, because I think that would have actually made a lot of sense for those two to be close because they were very similar and both went through a lot of the same trials as people.
Was Qui-Gon on the council?
No.
Yes, but they kicked him off.
I thought he...
Also, there's the Death Star.
Is it the Death Star? I can never
Was
tell.
that the Death
Maybe
Star?
it's not. I heard it was the Death Star. Looking back at it, I don't think it is.
I don't think the Death Star.
I think that's just a planet. Yeah, that might be Mustafar actually.
Yeah.
It'd be weird, but okay.
He's just looking at the Death Star and they're like, "What's that? What's planned? Nothing."
Yes. I don't know why, but I love making jokes that... I always love writing things where I make jokes about the Emperor, and his whole plan is always Death Star 3, Death Star 4. He never learns, he just keeps building them. Eventually the Death Star just has a self-destruct button that he accidentally pushes.
Why not make a smaller Death Star, kind of like the Malevolence, but with the power of the Death Star? Or was that just not possible?
Probably not possible. I mean, the first Death Star was as small as the Death Star could get.
The Galaxy gun was pretty small.
Was it as powerful as the Death Star, though?
Yeah, it blew up a planet.
Oh, gosh. I haven't read the Galaxy Gun thing.
That's Dark Empire 2.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
I have both those comics.
I thought you must break the fog of lies and the Jedi said, yeah, and I really like this is the best scene in the freaking movie.
Where Palpatine gets turned on by the dark side.
My mentor taught me everything about the Force.
Oh, come
Even
on,
the
he totally
nature.
is. He totally is. You tell this is what gets him going at night. He's just thinking about how to be evil.
I love it. If one is to understand, they must study all its aspects. And again, he's completely right. Not just a dogmatic, narrow view of the Jedi. In a lot of ways, he's right, because then the moment you inevitably come across the dark side, you're not going to know how to act towards it, because the Jedi don't prepare their young for it. So then the moment they do so, they either die or fall.
Also, I assume Anakin has told him about Padme, or is he just...
Actually, we talked about this in our episode 2 commentary. The person who told him was Typho
Where
from episode
Padme?
2. The guy because he was in love with Padme, so he got pissed and told Palpatine.
That's one of Padme's guards.
Panaka's nephew. Which, yeah, that's just a pawn of the Jedi Council. He's completely right, and that's what's so terrifying. Also, I love the things in the background.
Yeah.
One of them looks like a Night Sister. The other looks
One of
like
them's a giant turtle head, I think.
Giant Turtles. First Avatar, now Star Wars.
Oh, God.
Are you going to kill me? I would certainly like to.
Oh, you're a second ahead of me.
Here's the infamous, I can feel your
Well,
anger.
this is the best. I knew you would. And just when he squints, I could feel your anger.
I like to call this scene the Palpatine gets an orgy scene.
Oh, yes.
You know he's getting turned on, right?
Oh, yeah. He's so freaking into what's going on.
Powerful.
He's just so cool. And I love how he's like, of course you should. You should do it. And this whole thing about a life with conscience. He's not necessarily lying. Yeah, the Jedi kind of do some morally reprehensible stuff and then kill him with excuses for it. My problem is, it shouldn't just be about Padme. We should have shown him wanting to use the dark side or starting to fall into it already. And yes, we have the mentions of the Sand People, but the problem is that feels too token. That feels like it's just a token thing. Also, I love the way that Utapau looks right here.
Yeah.
Ever feel
In fact, there was going to be a thing where they fought on the subway. There was going to be an underground subway thing that they would go through on Utapau. Also, Obi-Wan with no lightsaber trying to fight is awesome.
Yeah.
Ever feel like they should have made the Jedi's argument a little bit better? I don't know,
What do you mean?
No, because the point is supposed to be that they're a little bit more reprehensible here.
I don't know. It just seems like something you should wrong. Your bad guy has all the right answers.
Yeah, but that's the point. I think that actually works in explaining why Anakin falls to the dark side. The problem isn't that. The problem is that then we immediately make it about Padme again.
That's true.
Also, no, not the wheel thing. I wonder if
Yeah.
anyone ever obtained that again, because that seems like it was a custom thing for him.
There were 3 of them.
There were?
Were there?
Yeah, he had like 3 motorcycles in his base.
Oh, never mind.
Huh.
Also, that thing deactivates when you're not holding it. Then how does it know if a droid's holding it? Because they have metal hands.
I have no idea. This duel was always cool. I love
Oh, I love how he tensed it. And
Gosh.
this is awesome.
Doesn't he try to kick? Doesn't Obi-Wan try to kick him?
I think so. Well, no, he tries
Yeah,
to
right
punch him.
there.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
you're right here. Yeah, he tries to, I think, do something. Yeah, he kicks up.
Yeah, like,
Oh, that's great. Like, yeah,
Like, what
oh,
did you think
wow.
was going to happen?
I love Obi-Wan right here, just getting his ass handed to him.
Yep.
And yeah, that looks bad, kind of, but I still love the way that this planet looks. And yeah, this right here is awesome. And a nice callback.
Bang.
So uncivilized.
Oh, there goes one of my favorite characters. I love General Grievous.
And the coolest death ever. Oh my god, the eyes thing is amazing.
And he goes out with a cough.
But yeah, like, I love the fact that, so uncivilized. It's like that's just awesome.
We're coming.
And
We're
I've seen
getting
people
ready.
criticize that before. Like Cap and Dan were talking about that, and they were like, "What does he mean by uncivilized?" And I think, and Cap was like, "Well, he deflects blaster bolts, so technically it's like, yeah, but there's a difference between between the easiness of firing a gun and the complexity of deflecting it. Not to mention the fact that Obi-Wan's lightsaber style is all about defense, so in his mind, offensive attacks are pointless." And I love the fact that Anakin does actually tell the Council.
Smart.
Yeah.
But again, the fact that he saves him to save Padme again works. It's the fact that he betrays the Jedi. Saving Palpatine in the moment, fine. But the fact that he just full on betrays them. Also, Mace brought the worst possible Jedi.
But he brought a Kit Fisto.
Yeah, but all of them have. But Kit Fisto is horrible with duels.
Oh, is he?
His lightsaber style is all about hordes of enemies with blaster bolts. Aegon Kolar is all about being is also a bad duelist, and Mace is amazing since he uses the Shatterpoint ability and has what's it called? But and also CC10 is another person whose specialty is flight. He's a starship pilot before he's a combat person. And what sucks is one of the Jedi's best duelists, Shaak Ti, apparently was still alive, unless you count the deleted scene. But nevertheless, which also, this is actually one of the greatest moments in the film. It genuinely works.
Well,
Yes,
because
it
they're not
does.
talking. Everything when
But
they're
that's-
not,
Mhm.
everything when they're not talking works.
Maybe it's just that George Lucas didn't know how to write dialogue.
He did.
He is talking right now, though.
No, he's not. He's quiet.
They aren't talking, but Palpatine's voiceover.
I can't hear the voiceover, but I have it on mute.
Like the vocalizing. Yeah, again, the fact that he's doing this to save Padme, I'm fine with. It's the fact that he kills all the Jedi and betrays the Republic to do so. Saving Palpatine because Mace is going too far, that works. Storming the Jedi Temple should have been because of ending the war. In my opinion, what it should have been is that Palpatine should have said the Jedi started this war because they weren't able to act. Padme's talking all about how, the war's horrible because nobody will listen and stuff like that, and acting is wrong. They should have played it up. We should have focused more on the fact that Anakin is the opposite. In Anakin's mind, the negotiating is pointless. You have to fight. You have to fight for what you believe in. And so they should have played that up more. That's why I think we should have had a scene of him fighting alongside clones in a heated battle where he's slipping into the dark side at a few points. That's all it would have taken. Well, yeah, you didn't even need that. You just kind of needed... and I love how 3PO is there. It's like, yay. Which, this ship's cool, and we get to see it at some other points. I love how big Coruscant feels and how big the platform is right there. Like, I don't know. That's something I always love about the prequels is the scale.
Yeah.
Also, this is an awesome moment. But still, he brought people who are not good at duels.
I like how I bet you that's why they wrote him like that in the EU because they just got owned so quickly.
No, they were already written like that. They actually that was already their styles beforehand. Actually,
Okay.
Huh. It's
It's
funny that
weird.
Kit Fisto lasts the longest.
well,
Out of-
Kit is uses the dark side to his advantage, so that's probably why. So does
Okay.
Mace. That's why they lasted so long. Which in the EU, the reason or the novelization, the reason he was able to do that, the reason he was able to just in one move kill Agen Kolar is because Agen Kolar. It's not Agen. It was CC10 is because CC10 they shouldn't have died that easily. Those did not other than Agen, I don't think they looked like actual kill like hits that would kill them. Especially in Cece's case, which actually in the comic, Cece's throat gets slit open.
I don't know why this
Ouch.
duel ain't working for me right now. I don't know, maybe just
Really, I love this duel because the thing is, Mace is using the pad, so he's slipping between all the different. Well, the thing is,
yeah, but
Mace
you know all
designed
the
his
EU
own.
stuff. I don't, so to me it just looks like it's weirdly edited.
It's not that well edited. You're right, but still,
Yeah.
like the thing is, he's just so freaking. Yeah, like the fact that actually the Council Forcecast did a good job talking about how this battle would essentially just have kept going, and it would have been eventually Palpatine would have probably just like exploded in pure dark side power, and it's just and probably in doing so would have used up all his force degradation, or force degradation would have affected him so much that he would have probably crumbled to dust or something.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
poorly
just a
edited.
matter
I mean,
of
they keep close
it's
enough
just
to
a matter
Palpatine.
of how much if Mace would have survived that or not. Mace should have won this fight, or Mace should have. Palpatine would have died anyways. It's a matter of whether Mace would have survived or not, had Anakin not intervened. In fact, Palpatine only threw the match because he felt Anakin's presence.
True, it's still poorly edited. I mean, they keep cutting close to Anakin. It looks like it keeps him shielding around.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Oh yeah, I prefer the
It's so
Yoda.
badly edited. It's just a decent fight in terms of.
Reddit, your line's coming up.
Oh right, This is.
And again, like the Jedi are taking over, the oppression of the Sith will never return. Like,
I like how
yeah,
this
the
scene
fact that
right now.
Mace is trying to.
How Geek Solution
Yeah.
got taken over.
No, you wouldn't die.
He
I love the
is
fact
the
that anytime
Jedi.
Which people always wonder about the face thing.
It's either the mask theory or the melting theory.
It's melting. That's what the idea is supposed to be. Well, it's that it causes. The thing is, people are kind of forgetting using Force Lightning in the first place causes a lot of physical pain. That's what's going on. It's not actually the light. It's not as much the lightning itself as how much lightning he's using. It's the fact that he's shocking so much lightning that it's force degradation. It's that he's been holding it off so much that it's not that it's his true face, but it's that it's what his face would become otherwise.
It is his true face because he's evil.
Well, it's not.
Just kidding.
It's not his true face yet. Is the thing. This could, had he not done that, his face would have been fine. It's the fact that he shot so. And also, yeah, Anakin, talking about how he will stand trial and everything, like Mace is gonna kill a defenseless man, and well, if I was Mace, I would do the same thing.
I would.
Anakin's right that Mace is preaching all about how great the Jedi way is, and then the moment he feels like the Jedi way won't give him what he wants, I'll kill him.
Here we go.
Like, it shows kind of how cowardly the Jedi can be, where
The best scene in the movie.
our way is always right, unless, of course, we feel. Why would
Unlimited.
Hold on, it's coming, it's coming.
I might be a few seconds behind you.
I'm a few seconds ahead.
Best scene ever. Or
This
like
is death right here.
Plot twist: Mace
Window.
lives.
Yeah, holy shit, he went far. Yeah, his face right there is just great.
that was a
And
good
again, Anakin immediately regretting it is great. But the problem is, I like the fact that this was a heat of the moment decision, based on the fact that Mace was about to cut his head off. But the fact that he just all of a sudden, so he made a heat of the moment decision. I'm okay with the fact that this makes him fall to the slip into the dark. The problem is that he immediately is just completely evil and generic. This, up until this point, him swearing allegiance is perfectly good. Like, this actually genuinely is a great scene, because he crossed that line and he feels like, oh god, there's no going back. he's doing this not just because of Padme at this point, but also a little bit because he crossed the line and he almost hates himself to the point that he feels like he has to commit either way.
Right. That makes sense.
He feels like he has no choice in it. But the problem is, he immediately starts killing children. Like, that's the problem. There's a difference between him slipping into the dark side and swearing allegiance, as for that, and then just all of a sudden being like, and now I'm gonna be Palpatine's lapdog.
Somebody made a theory today that I heard that Snoke is one of those kids who Anakin forgot to kill.
But yeah, back to
I'm hearing so many things.
like it didn't need to. They did this.
Maybe
Why did he need to he should have been a little bit different. Like, why would he kill all the Jedi Knights? Like, it should have been that Palpatine was like, the Jedi have went too far. They need to be defeated, or else the Republic will never have peace. Like, have him say that the Clone War is about to end. Just have him say that this war will end. Yay! He gave him his name. Hold on, I gotta just a second. Oh man, my favorite scene. Hold on.
Well, go. Oh, Palpatine's getting off with evil. Oh, look,
Yeah.
But it is creep. Ooh, that doggy's loud. But oh,
I really like
Yoda.
I really like everything in the background and the lighting of this.
Oh yeah, it's really. I always love Coruscant.
I do too. Coruscant's a very beautiful place, even though
Right.
some people are like it's a city. I'm like, well, some cities can be really beautiful depending on how it's shot.
Well, cities are nice. I mean, what's wrong with a city? I prefer a small town myself, but I like cities.
Well, it's like that. It's like it just comes down to personal preference. But for me, I'm like a
cities.
yes.
Oh, and now the
Why?
Emperor is Palpatine again.
We were just talking about
Palpatine's the Emperor.
Right. Yep. It's.
But yeah, again, like all of a sudden he's just like, oh, and now your friend is an enemy of the Republic. Like what he should, and it's just because Mace tried to kill him. Like I buy him protecting Palpatine from Mace because Mace was going too far, and the Jedi were like, all of a sudden he's just like, it will be a civil war without end. That works, but he doesn't go in depth. It's a throwaway line. Like he should have been, what he should have been like was like he should have said, the Clone War is about to end, but if the Jedi are allowed to continue, it will keep going. And then what we should have done is we should have had a scene earlier that shows just how hellish the war is, to show why Anakin would do anything to stop it.
Actually,
But they don't
I
do
would
that.
actually one up you there. I actually would have found it interesting if like Anakin had asked like, what about Obi-Wan? And Palpatine would be like, if he sees the light, perhaps then he could be spared. Like I always want Palpatine like give Anakin some hope that perhaps some of his pals could stay with him. Like just like.
Well, Anakin does try and do that.
Yeah, but I want Palpatine to like use that to like sort of like say if Obi-Wan comes.
But he wouldn't want that because the moment that Anakin tries to talk to once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
And we shall have peace.
We shall have peace. He looks so
here-
freaking creepy right there. Look at
here
those
comes
eyes.
and here
And
comes
yeah,
the storm the temple.
The
Well, I know,
sacking of the Jedi Temple yet again.
This is still
And
a cool
just
scene.
holy shit.
This is still a
The
cool
first time
scene.
you see this scene as a kid, it's just mind blowing.
Say what you will about context. This is just a cool scene on itself. But, oh, those clones look bad though.
Again, like if this had just been, like again, the fact that he's he's doing this because of Padme, and that's kind of what ruins this. Like, yes, he does. Yes, Palpatine does say, do it because they're enemies of the Republic, but they're enemies of the Republic just because Mace tried to kill, just because
Okay,
the Council
clones
tried to kill.
Oh wait!
Yeah, like what it
I love
should
this
have been.
scene. I love this scene right here. I love this scene. This entire battle of Utapau. I just love how it just all looks. Like I love the way
Yeah,
the
again,
clones.
like, there's a lot of World War II-esque imagery here.
Oh, if only these. I wish some of these clones were real, but it's still cool looking anyway. Oh, I love this scene.
Oh yeah,
Why
this guy getting on top of him was awesome.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do actual armor? Was it because the cost was too much?
Nah, just kind of because they thought CG would be okay for that.
It was that era where CG was everywhere.
Those clones look pretty good. Also, they have jetpacks, or Cody has a jetpack.
I love
Is it a jetpack?
Yep, that's a jetpack.
I love the jetpacks in Battlefront.
Yeah, the Battlefront jetpacks are really fun.
Unless you're a Dark Trooper, in which case it's just a jump.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's why we prefer the Clone Wars jetpacks anyway.
the
Oh.
time has come.
Oh,
Execute.
No, I'm a few seconds behind you.
Execute
all of this-
orders 66.
Six. All of this is like really dramatic and sad and depressing and awesome, and I love just how the music is, and this feels like a great accumulation of events. But
This
the
is probably one of my
problem
favorite scenes.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the problem is, all of this because Anakin was trying to save Padme. Like
All
it
this for-
should have. Like Anakin, like the thing is, this should have had a better. Oh, and yeah, Megiddo. Holy shit, Megiddo looks amazing.
Look, it's the Spire Droid from Clone Wars.
That's what I was telling you about.
Yay! Oh,
And like, just I love how amazing this.
uh-oh.
Those are a lot bigger than here. Yeah, like this again. This shows how hellish the war is. I wish we had saw clips of Megiddo beforehand, because this right here, it shows just how hellish this war is and why you would want to end it. What they should have done though is have Anakin in one of these war zones. Have Anakin in the war zone and show why he wants this war to end, why he wants the slaughter to stop. Have it almost be that he doesn't hate the Jedi. In his mind, he's saving the Jedi by killing them. Like in his mind, like almost like in a sick, twisted way, destroying the Jedi Temple is saving future generations of Force sensitives. Also, they keep shooting, and that's horrifying.
Yeah.
They block
And
it
Yoda,
out.
like this. Oh, the music cues. It's so well done and put together and brilliantly shot and amazing. And then you think about the fact that this is all just because of Padme, and also then like this. I love this like second go.
Wait, is this planet from Force Unleashed 2? I forget what it's called.
Yes, Cato Nemoidia. It's the homeworld of Plo Koon, not Plo Koon, of the Nemoidians.
Not Plo Koon.
Like Newt Gunray.
He gave us Ahsoka in a way because he found her.
No, Plo Koon. And the fact that he likes is screaming. Also, Sadi, Ali, Seleucamai is just kind of Felucia all over again, though. In a lot of ways, it doesn't look any different.
Unless it was in a comic. Oh, I love this next scene with the Battle Kashyyyk. You see a little bit. Look at that clone. Look at that droid fly up there.
Yeah, and what's sad is like the clones are still fighting alongside the Wookiees and everything. Like they're still good guys. Oh, I just realized the Swamp Speeders actually are in this movie. We did get a brief shot of half of one.
Oh, cool.
Also, Gree.
No. You know, before the Clone Wars, those weren't chips. Those were the clones did this because they were indoctrinated to obey orders.
Mm.
I don't know what one do you like better, the chips?
By far the chips.
Okay.
It makes it a lot more depressing and sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
The inhibitor chip.
I know some people prefer indoctrination better.
Yeah. I feel like it makes the fact that it brings it back into this. It's really sad, but at the same time, the Jedi used a slave army. Like that's kind of. It brings it back into that. Which again, Anakin's killing children just because Palpatine said so. Like
You need to show
this
that
should have been. I get that he thinks that he killed Mace, so there's no going back. But the problem is now he's just completely cold and sadistic.
I feel like you shouldn't have
Like,
killed
it
the
should've-
children. Like you should have tried to save them or something. I don't know.
I don't think that. Maybe not even have him trying to save them. Just
I mean, it's cheesy. I mean, I don't want it to be like
show
cheesy.
something before that. Show
Oh, that
something.
crying.
Like have it be
No, that
that.
works. Like the crying works as just a scene. I think because you see the Jedi.
I think as
temple
a
burn.
scene, yeah, it works. I just don't buy her acting.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Although it is cool seeing the Jedi temple.
and this
burn.
is awesome with Bail Organa. Like this
Yes.
is horrifying and sad. It's just like this is almost like the Star Wars equivalent of like Pearl Harbor almost. Again, back to the World War II stuff.
I would
and-
almost say that if these prequels were more effective, I would almost even 10 times more invested. Because, like you always say about the prequels, the world is a little more consistent because we always see the same places. Like, we've seen the Jedi Temple in all 3 films. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
Naboo.
And
in
so
all-
seeing it on fire is so depressing.
Yeah, and it would be even more depressing if, like, there was just a little more cohesion.
Also, Oppo gets sliced in the chest right there.
By George
If he
Lucas'
survives,
son.
that's Oppo who falls over.
And that's George Lucas' son who did that.
George Lucas
really?
wrote his son into a movie so he could get shot.
Greatest dad ever.
He was in episode 2 as well.
I love the music right here when he gets out of the water, and it's very horrifying.
Mm-hmm. Like again, it's a terrifying thing. And like I love the idea of like the Jedi are getting slaughtered, and as far as everyone knows, the Jedi were traitors. Like the Jedi are getting slaughtered horribly, and all this stuff is happening.
Okay,
And-
here's my problem with this scene coming up. I feel like the clones turn evil a little too quick. Like I feel like there's like, I mean I know there's supposed
What do
to
you
be,
mean? The clones aren't necessarily evil. They killed Yoda, but they seem to be still working for the Republic.
Well, I know, but I don't know. Just the way they're acting, I feel like they should be rounding up Wookiees right now and sending into the Death
Well-
Star.
Well, right now what they're doing is they're just checking for survivors.
Okay.
Yeah.
They weren't tracking down Wookiees to kill them. They were trying to find survivors.
That would.
Because again, like as far as they know, the Jedi are traitors and are trying to kill the Chancellor and betray the Republic. They don't realize that he's a Sith.
That's true.
How do you feel about Chewie being in this film?
It's cool.
It's very. It's there. It doesn't really do much for the film.
It's cool. Nothing great.
It's
People
cool,
say,
yeah,
Why,
but it's-
why would Han doubt the Force and everything? Though there's a lot of ways around that.
We look. It's
Also, the Tantive 4,
Yes.
Is it the Tantive 4?
and there's Captain Antilles.
Who's not related to Wedge?
Nope, but that's the guy who actually gets strangled by Vader in Episode 4.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's the guy who gets strangled by Vader, Captain Antilles. Also, I love when none of them notice Obi-Wan.
See, they're
There's
rounding up the
Grievous.
Utapauans. See, why are they rounding up the Utapauans?
Because the Utapau worked with the, what do you call them?
Separatists?
Separatists.
I thought
I
they
mean, to
were
be fair, they were being occupied, but nevertheless, I love how Grievous is still there.
Yeah, they just left his corpse.
He's just sitting there. I wonder if somebody actually did anything with Grievous's corpse
They
later.
actually
Like, did they
did.
put it on a
They
wall?
did. They did.
Really?
They have something in that old MMORPG, Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, really?
What happened?
Somebody reanimated the corpse and made, like, more of a robot. Something like that, I don't remember. You get to
Okay.
fight him.
That-
It was in one of the expansion packs.
But yeah, again, like,
Oh.
all of the
Oh.
and everything, and like, Bail Organa contacting him was great, and the fact that they get back to the temple and everything, and the fact that his troops turn on him is like, I wish we showed a little bit more of the bond between the clones and the Jedi to make that a little bit more of a betrayal.
To be fair, most
I
of
do
the EU
too.
didn't.
I think.
The EU didn't do that until Clone Wars, the 3D series.
Yeah, it kind of did, actually, in a lot of ways. Even before Clone Wars, like, the clones didn't have independent personalities, but they still were close to their Jedi.
Mm.
And like the fact that the Jedi tried to overthrow the Republic, like, well, they didn't. Like, yeah, Mace tried to assassinate Palpatine, but the fact that Anakin legitimately, like, I like the fact that that's the front. I like the fact that that's the pretense as to why people think the Jedi did something wrong and why they're not trying to rebel. But the problem is that Anakin legitimately believes that. Like, I like the idea that he thinks that what he's doing is for the Republic. Like, the idea that he's trying to protect the Republic works. Like, I like that. The problem is, I don't buy that that's what he's doing. They say it, but it comes across more like he's just an excuse to do this for Padme. It should have been legitimately Padme was the reason he cut off Mace's hand, and then from here, he's trying to protect the Republic. Like, Mace was an extremist. The reason he tried to kill Palpatine was because that was his own choice. It wasn't the Council's.
I don't
I don't get why Anakin thinks that he did that because of it.
To be fair, you would kill Palpatine too. He had a chance.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
What he's saying, well, his whole point is that Mace is hypocritical.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But again, the Mace was being a hypocrite and everything, but nevertheless, like, why does he legitimately believe Palpatine? Like, again, it should have been more of a Palpatine just says this war will keep on going. I mean, he does say that we'll be trapped in an endless civil war. And while I like that, like while I like the fact that he's horrified by the the prospect of there being this just endless war between the two groups, like we should have seen a little bit more of his loyalty to the Republic. Just
Also-
I don't know. It feels
also-
like half baked.
Well, I would
Also,
remember
the-
in Labyrinth of Evil, listening to some of that novel a little bit earlier. Anakin's like supposed to be the poster boy for the Republic. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's same with the novelization.
I can just imagine like a cheesy little propaganda poster of Anakin with a thumbs up and a big smile. Join the
That would have
Republic.
been great.
That probably exists somewhere.
There are Vader ones. Join the Empire.
Yeah. Also, to comment on the PS2 game, the level where you attack the Jedi Temple is actually a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we got-
Shakti and everything.
Yeah, I kind of wish we got a more and maybe there is, but I wish we'd gotten a more drawn out temple scene because I feel like that could have been even more impactful for the Order 66 shot.
That mission was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like, I just don't buy that Anakin would betray all of the Jedi Knights just because the Council did something.
Mustafar.
Like, just that's what always bugs me, is I buy Anakin turning to the dark side here, but the problem is there's a difference between choosing to use the dark side and becoming evil.
Evil. Unless you don't think the Sith are evil. Oh wait, it's the Separatists, yay, new country. I love scenes like this.
But he is just evil right here. He's killing everyone. Like,
I don't know. I once did a forum debate if the Sith, you consider the Sith, if the Sith are evil, or evil is something else. Like, Palpatine's evil, but are the Sith evil?
I think the Bogun were not evil. The Sith are, but their ideas, their ideals in the first place aren't necessarily evil.
Palpatine.
Also, Masamida. How does Masamida not see Yoda and everyone?
I don't know. Maybe that's the way the camera is. Is this a recording? I don't know. Oh wait, no, it's not. You talked to him.
No, it's not a recording. It's like you said earlier, talking back about Anakin. Everything that they could have used to make that work is there, but it isn't relevant. They don't make it relevant.
Because George is really this one.
Yeah, like he says that line about there will be a civil war, but I want to see why Anakin cares so much about stopping there being a bigger war, or possibly like the 3D Clone Wars thing of he almost is enjoying combat in a lot of ways.
That would be hard if you use 3D Clone Wars because he's enjoying it. Like, Anakin be like, no, I don't want this to stop. I want it to keep going.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I was saying is, have it be a little bit more like he is kind of a warrior. And so in his mind, this is kind of like the next, like, he'll do anything to protect the Republic in that show. And so have that be, like, again, here he says, I'm doing anything to protect the Republic. But is he, is the thing. They say that, but it doesn't really come across that way.
Look, those two guys.
The Eastern Mustafarians, I think, because there's two species of Mustafari.
Huh. Cool. I like this.
There's the short ones that you see later, and then there's these tall guys.
I love this. I just like seeing the Separatists do stuff in their little bases. I don't know. I just like.
Also, this is so freaking cool in mouse droids. This is so freaking cool in
the game.
Like this should have happened before the temple got stormed.
Like,
yeah.
You know why? Because his eyes glow yellow, which shows that he's falling. He's not just decided to use the dark. Because there's a difference between using the dark side and succumbing to it. So what should have happened is he should have killed the separatist leaders in such a way where he just goes like killing Mace was him crossing the line into deciding that he would serve Palpatine. Killing the separatist leaders was him at the end of that moment, when his eyes glow yellow, is him deciding that he is now, that he is now gonna. That now he will use the dark side.
Do you think that
he'll be a Sith? And then him killing the Jedi is him fully giving into the dark.
Wait. This is the best speech in all of Star Wars, even better than General Hux's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like this, like the full fact that everyone thinks the Jedi were traitors. The problem is, why does Anakin?
So I have a question. Do you think then the movie should have been he kills Mace, and then he goes kills the Separatist leaders, and then Palpatine kills the Jedi?
No, he goes back to kill the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Have it be his first trial is to kill, and then have it be like he crossed that line, and so he feels like he can't go back on helping Palpatine, but he hasn't fully fell to the darkness yet.
Then how does he get on Mustafar and burns up again? That's a good question.
Well, have it just be that they aren't stationed on Mustafar.
Oh yeah.
Have it be that Palpatine sends him to Mustafar to kill like Obi-Wan or someone who hides there or something. I
have this memory.
Or heck, have it be that there were more Jedi who were there. Like, have it be that there were more Jedi who showed up to kill Palpatine, and Anakin tries.
I just thought something. Mustafar, where Jedi go to die.
But have it be that some Jedi went after Anakin, who went to help Mace.
No, not really.
And then have Anakin try and protect Palpatine, and he disarms them, and then maybe he reaches a point where then his eyes glow yellow, right there, which I'm looking at his eyes right now. I really love that shot.
Oh, wait, here comes the best scene. Wait, here comes the best line.
Containing stability, continuing republic will be reorganized.
Galactic
First,
Empire.
Empire.
No, it's
I love
Galactic.
Masamita's just like looking up like it's some unknown place for safe and secure society.
No.
And again, like I like the fact
No,
that
you said it wrong. You
Anakin
said it wrong.
is.
It's secure. You got to extend the
Oh, and I love this thing where he's like doing the hands. That's so great.
He is God.
So this is how Liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
I don't think that's a cheesy line. I think it works.
I like that line
Oh,
actually.
and
Yeah.
here comes the
Also-
saddest scene in the movie: the death of Newt Gunray.
The war is over. Our city's purpose is peace. We only want. And again, like the fact that he kills him right there makes sense, even without him having fallen to the dark side yet.
Because of Padme?
No, because this guy who has killed so many people that he cares about just said, "Oh, I'm a good guy. I only want peace."
I always
Yeah.
just thought he killed him like that because of Padme, because he was always trying to get Padme.
Oh,
Again, like
there's
that, well, that's the thing. In the movie, it comes across like that, but you could have had this be the first time he crosses that line. Just don't have it be on Mustafar, and then have maybe have it be that there's like one or two people on Mustafar, and that's why he sends it. Or maybe have it be that like maybe have the Dooku thing be on Mustafar. I don't know. Not to rewrite the movie, just
No, go ahead, rewrite the movie. I know a lot of people like
Yeah, go ahead, rewrite the movie.
A lot of people do that. I know. I talked to a lot.
only pain will you find. Again, like the Jedi saying knowledge is unimportant. What all that matters is the Jedi. And also, that's one of the Jedi Council like lightsaber comment. Also, like Obi-Wan's reaction to that is just great. It can't be like. Also, how does he have an image of? Oh, because I guess Palpatine went to the temple.
Yeah, it says in his Wikipedia, Palpatine wanted to see it for himself. I mean, wouldn't you if you were Palpatine? Like, I've been playing this for years. I'm gonna watch this, dang it. I'm gonna enjoy this.
He's just sitting there with popcorn.
You're just sitting there with a piece of in his chair with some popcorn, watching the slaughter. Like, this is good. Want
Like
some
you
meat?
do.
Want some popcorn?
Creepy steer guy. And like twisted by the dark side. But the thing is, he just like I don't know. Yeah, again, like gone he is, consumed by Darth Vader. Like now he's all of a sudden just Darth Vader just because he killed Mace. Like I get that him killing it should have been that him killing the younglings is the first act kind of Vader, but the problem is, and it is, I guess, but the problem is there should have been an in-between period. He falls too quickly.
I think it's a bit of a stretch. You go from one hero to killing kids. I mean,
Yeah.
killing kids is
Like,
like
well,
an
it's
entire
a bit of a stretch to go from. It's a bit of a stretch to go from necessary evil to sadistically murdering your former friends.
Well, they're killing kids. I mean, to me, killing kids is like a whole different level of evil. Like killing a grown-up, I mean, it's still
Exactly.
bad, but
Like again,
Yeah.
that's why it should have been that he had already fully. His eyes aren't even yellow when he does that. His eyes are yellow from killing Pargol the Lesser, but not from children.
Yeah, it's very sloppy writing when it comes to that, and I think
like I still feel like Darth Vader shouldn't have killed the children because I don't know why. I just don't know. I've always liked writing the idea that Darth Vader had like a bit of a thing for killing children. Like I always have like some villains I feel like you can write like them killing kids, like Palpatine. He could kill them all in a heartbeat, but some of those like more tortured villains, I feel like when it comes to kids, that's like their weak point. That's their kryptonite.
No, because the point with Vader is that he's just Palpatine's tool, and that's good. The problem is he's Palpatine's tool too quickly here.
Right. Although I do like in the Darth Vader comic where Palpatine says, Vader had like a issue with children or something like that. I have the comic right here. Let me find it.
Like what Vader's bad with kids.
No.
Like, well, of course he cut his own son's hand off.
No, that's because this is before Empire Strikes Back. Remember? Here we go. Let's see. Oh shoot, I have it right here.
so. Let me ask y'all this:
You talking?
What is y'all's least favorite scene in the whole movie? What is the one that takes the cake?
Probably
Anakin
the
and Padme.
scene with the hairbrush.
No, just on Mustafar. I don't like that scene. Anakin, Padme on Mustafar. Here we go. I found the scene in the comics.
Yeah, but it leads to the whole like my allegiances to the Republic, to democracy, which just
No, that's fine.
Okay, so Anakin's like, I will defend the Republic, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm protecting my new empire. It's like, well, what? He changes too quickly.
Okay.
And look, there's Wat Tambor's body.
Wah, wah. Oh, I found it. Palpatine says, "You will forgive Lord Vader. He is sensitive to the topic of children." He's because some guy was saying how these Force robots are like his kids, and then Vader gets all mad at him and wants to kill him.
But yeah, and Anakin's eyes are no longer yellow, so maybe they were yellow during the battle.
Oh, but he's crying.
Oh God!
There's a tear.
Also, that music is the music used for the first the Old Republic trailer.
That too. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, because the first one was Anakin's Dark Deeds, and then this is Anakin's Betrayal.
Yeah.
No, sorry, this is Dark Deeds. The previous one was Betrayal.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun. Well, no one talks about how heartbreaking this must be for C-3PO.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, seriously, nobody cares about C-3PO's feelings.
Also, it's the same landing platform for the previous two films.
I
Oh,
always
is
thought I always thought this
Yep.
was the same ship, too.
It's the same ship from Episode 2. It's not the same one from Episode 1.
Yeah, not the same.
Also, I love how Obi-Wan sneaks on.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty long flight from Coruscant to Mustafar. That's like a week-long flight.
How long was Anakin on Mustafar then? That's a good question. Like he just was he just standing there for a week?
Standing there, no. I think the idea is that Anakin hadn't even killed the other. I think it's that we're seeing these possibly out of sequence.
That's possible.
Possibly.
Like
Maybe
right
when he
here.
looks-
Well, no, because they just left. It's so confusing.
And now another sad scene: the deactivation of the Trade Federation droids. Twom, twom, twom.
And I love the first time we get the giant Sidious head for Vader.
Oh yeah, I never noticed
That's
that. Anybody not like Darth Sidious's cloak in the Episode 3? I don't know. I always preferred the more Jedi version.
I prefer Jedi's version because it looks a lot more old and tattered, whereas
I never liked the
Episode
makeup
3
either.
is just-
I never liked Sidious's makeup in Episode 3 over. I always
That's
prefer
because
Jedi.
his face is still like molding.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean that's true. I mean you do have like 50 years of age. I mean not 50 years, but a long time to.
20.
also Natalie Portman looks really beautiful here.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my least favorite bits of acting from her, but she still looks beautiful.
Nobody questions her looks, just her acting.
Yeah.
Just the horrible acting. Yeah. It's like that shot lingered way too long.
And the thing is, she is a good actor. It's just what they give her to do isn't that compelling. And I feel like it
Yeah,
could
level-
work. It's just not.
Would it be great if Obi-Wan walked out of the door too early and like bumped into her? And she's like, "What are you doing on the ship?"
That would have been hilarious.
He's just like, like this is like a week-long flight. Like, did he eat? Like they end up finding him just like in there, like unconscious.
I'm
Like,
sure he bought some Jedi peanuts or something. Something to snack on. Maybe a little comic book. Maybe no, not comic book. Maybe a little magazine, Jedi magazine. Something to.
like see Anakin like, oh, he turns to the dark side, like killed younglings, and like Anakin's just like, oh, I'm doing this to protect like that's the problem is. I don't know, just the fact that he, like the storm of the Jedi Temple, that he slipped into the dark side, but they act as if the moment he cut Mace's hand off, he was Vader, and I don't buy that.
I don't buy it either.
I feel like the moment he became Vader is when his eyes flashed yellow. That is the birth of, or no, when he walks in the room and closes the doors, that's the birth of Lord Vader.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had him.
I do love though the title of the Temple March. People always call it the Temple March. It's actually called Enter Lord Vader.
I didn't know that.
I really like that
Oh,
name.
here comes some terrible acting.
Oh yeah.
And why would Padme still want Anakin after killing the younglings? I mean, she definitely has poor taste in men.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, if he were actually Darth Vader in the
You
full
see,
suit,
this is what I was talking about. He says he can overthrow him. But my problem is, wouldn't you try and overthrow him before you kill your friends?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, I feel like I would have preferred it if maybe he had... I think it would have been better, actually, if Palpatine had activated Order 66 before Anakin had decided to attack the Jedi Temple, and then he was just like maybe have it be that he killed Mace, and then he's trying to protect Palpatine because he thinks he can create peace for the Jedi as well. Like he thinks he can reform the Jedi, and then have it be that Palpatine's just like Order 66,
Oh,
and
here
he's
comes
just
the
like,
line. Here comes the line.
they're all
Oh,
gonna
Lord.
die, and they just have it be that he's just like, okay, you know what? At this point, there is no chance for the Jedi. I have to kill them. Like it's for their like he's almost like it's like there's no. Oh, at a level he says Obi-Wan. I actually do like that because he says Obi-Wan, and then you don't see Obi-Wan yet. Like she doesn't even see him yet. Which I love the fact that it's Obi-Wan's fault that she dies.
No, it's Obi-Wan's fault for a lot of things in Star Wars.
I mean, he's still the White Knight. Which Cap was talking about this. Like, isn't it kind of dark
Now
that our
imagine
heroes
this,
rank
folks, but with 50
life?
Shades of Grey. There, that's it.
Okay, yeah, but it's kind of dark that the hero is strangling his pregnant wife right there. Like, Anakin's just all of a sudden evil just because he cut Mace's hand off. Well, okay, I get the whole like he's Vader now, but my problem is it should have been at this point where he like at this point he shouldn't have even been trying to barter with Padme. He should have just been like, I'm doing this because I want power. Like my problem is that he killed the younglings. I'd be okay with that if his immediate reaction afterwards was, I'm doing this for my own power and for the Empire. He's just like, I want to start. Yeah, he's like, I just want the Jedi gone. I want the war over. That's it. No, any cost. But the problem is they don't play it like that. They play it like he still wants to help Padme and everything. Also, I just realized why Padme is probably actually dying.
Because Palpatine's sucking the life out of her?
Nope, because she's right next to a bunch of ash after being strangled.
That makes more sense.
That actually does make more
sense. Think about it. She's inhaling a shitload. She's probably overheated and inhaling a bunch of ash. Like,
And if you think about it, they don't put it back on the ship until after this
to
duel's over.
democracy. I love that line.
Especially the way
You're
he
not
said
with me. You are my enemy.
Oh, that sounds so threatening. Yes.
If only,
Oh, the Sith deals in absolutes. Says the guy who just dealt in absolutes. I would
Absolute
say what I must.
power.
and here comes the fight.
I
I
love
feel
this flip.
I do like this fight.
I do too. Some
Battle-
people give it
I-
a lot of crap, but I actually do enjoy it. It's
Battle of the
flashy,
Heroes is
but
my
it's
favorite Star
fun.
Wars fight.
I think it's
It's my
like
favorite Star Wars
it's
fight.
probably my third favorite Star Wars fight. Maybe
What would
What's your first?
I would still have to say the
Death
one
Star.
Death Star fight. Not the first Death Star fight. No. Return
Yeah,
of the Jedi.
there's no. Oh God, not that one. Yeah, but
Return of the
and
Jedi
I
Death
love
Star
this
fight.
with the guards.
This is actually my second favorite fight right here. The one with Yoda and Palpatine.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is one of my
Yoda-
favorites.
This is
Star Wars
one
fights.
fight though. This is all the Battle of the Heroes.
Well, I know.
That's
but,
why it's called the Battle of the Heroes. Is because there's several.
I know, but I
people.
like separating it out because sometimes I just like watching Palpatine Yoda fight. I don't care about Anakin and Obi-Wan. And that sounds
Also,
really
I love Masa Mata, who's just like, "Hey Yoda, like what you doing?" Eric, it's lied you must just.
You guys say
Now you will
slowly.
experience the full power. Oh, I just realized that was a reference to episode 6. Now you will witness the full power of this fully operational battle station.
So,
Also, Lego Star Wars has sort of an alternate ending where if you beat Obi-Wan, it shows I think Anakin's lightsaber going red or so. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, it depends on who you play. I thought either way I thought it was just like either way.
Yeah, either way, it's the scene's just a little altered.
Oh, I never realized that.
I never noticed, huh?
Oh, look, there's new Galaxy body.
Is he wearing a different hat? Oh, look,
No,
look,
that's
Ma's like, I'm out of here. Later's gonna go do some.
It would have been
figuring.
better if he like tripped or something.
Gonna do something.
Or if he's like he watched my kid and he's like, I forgot my keys, sorry. Like he just like and Palpatine and Yoda are like in the middle of the seated adult, and they're like, just get your damn keys and get out of here. And then he's like, oh crap, I forgot my soda, my fault. Like
So,
just
okay,
grabs it.
Everyone says that Yoda and Palpatine shouldn't have to use lightsabers, but I still think it's cool.
I do too.
Well, I mean, I love his face when he gets thrown, but Palpatine. Well, the thing with Palpatine is he only uses the lightsaber to mock the Jedi.
He was using it against Maul. He should. Again, that seems more like mocking.
Well, that was to train him.
Yes, no.
Yeah, I mean,
in his duel
you're
with
reading
Maul.
Plagueis. He always says in Plagueis that he doesn't like lightsabers.
No,
That
in
they're
his duel
pointless.
with Maul. In his duel with Maul. Like in the Clone Wars.
Well, yeah, because he needed to. Because he was facing off against freaking Darth Maul in Savage Opress.
I don't know. I feel Palpatine could have taken him out with a snap of a finger. They're-
Yeah, but he wanted to make a show of it.
That's true.
It's Palpatine, dude. He's an egotist.
Yeah.
Although with Yoda, I think he might. I mean, with Yoda, I mean, if Yoda can't defeat Palpatine, then we're all screwed.
Also, I love how he starts choking him. You see, that's what you were talking about with the 50 Shades of Grey stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no
oh,
kidding.
I'm sure there's a fan fiction for that too. I'm sure there's a fan fiction of this duel right now doing that thing that I'm talking about.
If it,
It's the other sword.
if it exists, there's fan fiction of
Dude,
it.
he's
impaling him with his other sword.
He's shoving a sword near his face. It's a different sword in that version.
Oh yeah. You know it's
Yeah,
that.
I love this right here where they're like.
Oh, I love
yeah,
this
Anakin
scene right now.
where he's on the table.
And I like this scene where Palpatine and Yoda
Oh, yeah,
are
this is awesome.
rising into the Senate. The heart of
Like, I
democracy.
love the political, the fact that just the Republic has turned upon the Jedi and everything. My problem is
The
I don't
subtlety.
buy that Anakin believes that. Anakin, like the fact that Anakin believes it is just bullshit. Like again, it should have been that he was like. In fact, what should have happened is Palpatine should have said, "We can reform the Jedi, but you have to kill them all first to start anew."
And create the
But he
Senate.
doesn't say that. He's just like, kill them. They're traitors. Kill them. Also, I just realized there's actually the Battle of Kashyyyk going on in the background.
Oh, cool. Well, there's a
Oh,
bunch
really?
of battles going on in that.
It's all different parts of Kashyyyk, I think, because that was the big last frontier kind of. Also, I love when they send each other back.
Yeah.
I remember playing this, being in this
Oh, and I love
room
when
in
he
Battlefront.
Oh yeah, this was awesome. This is my favorite map possibly in Battlefront. That and maybe the Tantive 4 and Polis Massa,
I like
which we'll get to that in a few seconds. If all 4 in this movie. Oh,
My
yeah.
favorite level in Battlefront was the assault where you can play as all the heroes and villains.
Oh, those
Oh
were fun.
yeah.
Those were fun.
And Mos Eisley.
yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Palpatine's literally throwing democracy.
Is there a meme of that? Because there totally needs to be one for that.
Yeah, completely. And I love how those things crumble. Like just like this fight's awesome. And I like the fact that Anakin, like I buy that Anakin is now at the point that he is. It's just that I don't buy how we got to this point. Him falling in the first place, fine, but him completely becoming 100% sadistic, I don't.
Do you think that another
But now that
movie
it's happened,
What?
what were you saying?
do you think that another movie could have fleshed more of that out, or do you think damage was already done?
Another movie afterwards, no. A movie before this, yes.
Lord of the Sith tries, I know. Not both. Well, both Lord of the Sith and Dark Lord of the Sith.
The Dark Lord especially.
Yeah, I mean because it's a week after the movie is over,
Uh,
or months. It's a couple of months.
it's a few months.
I love this scene.
Yeah, his face.
I remember watching this as a kid in the theater
Just
and
like,
being all excited.
oh my gosh, that face he makes right there is horrifying.
Oh, come on, Palpatine, you can do it, buddy. Oh, okay. So does anybody
So Yoda rips through that way too easily.
call foul on the fact Yoda just loses and runs away very quickly? He still had some fight in him. He could have gone for a couple more rounds, I think.
No, because both of them were using powerful force techniques. I feel like he knows that he could have, but I feel like it's more that he knows that if they did, they would just be in this like endless cycle.
Fight not, know when not to fight. I think he actually says something like that in Rebels and Clone Wars a lot. Especially the last episode of Clone Wars, I think. Something akin to that.
Oh my gosh, I love this right here.
I do too.
They should be like on fire, but still.
Yeah, look at that
I
droid.
love that droid. It's just like I'm out.
Nope. You think that
Also,
has
the
a
fact that they're both sweating, I really like. Like they sweat progressively more throughout the fight.
dun dun dun?
Also, what's great about this is even though you don't necessarily buy Anakin's fall, at this point, like I feel like I don't buy the order of it, but I buy that at this point in the film he would be at this level of just dark side. I just don't buy the order of events leading to it. But
so the ending makes sense. It's just everything before that doesn't make a look of sense.
yeah, by this
yes.
point,
Oh, I
I
love.
buy. It's just that I think the slaughtering of. I think it's just that the slaughtering of
Kids.
the Separatist people and the slaughtering of the Jedi is out of order.
I love the nostalgia critic joke where he cuts back to this duel of Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then just has Vader and Obi-Wan fighting years later, and Vader going like, "Remember when we were spinning around in this lava doing flips and kicks and stuff?" And Obi-Wan's like, "Yeah, we got old." And then they're just tapping their little lightsabers.
Well, it's true.
I know. But it's just funny because, the Episode 4 lightsaber duel is kind of...
I hate that duel. It's so weak.
Well,
I did
that's
too.
Especially because it's so like. Think about this.
Well, it's
This
the first
epic
duel in the-
rivalry between two friends, and then in episode 4, it's just kind of like, haha, you're my old apprentice, and they're kind of joking around.
Well,
And he's
because
like,
that
only a
wasn't-
master of evil, Darth. And then, so contrast, you're only a master of evil, Darth, to, freaking, you are my brother, Anakin!
Well, that's because they
Like,
didn't write
episode
Episode 3
4
yet.
ruins, episode 5. Now, episode 6 actually does a good job of showing Obi-Wan's regret a little bit more.
Well, that's because by then George had little things more figured out, or just...
Yeah.
You can't
Would it
really
be great if Yoda's legs snapped?
You can't really blame Episode 4 for the prequels or the sequels. I don't even think they had plans.
Immediately, he's just like, failed I have. In Exile, I must go. It's just like,
Yep, I give up.
quitter.
Quitter. See, that's what
And I love this moment right here where their lightsabers are just, they're so high up. That's great.
I mean, I can defend my love for the Return of the Jedi Death Star 2 duel more, but I don't think I could ever... if somebody ever said to me that their favorite duel is the Obi-Wan Anakin... Obi-Wan Vader duel in the Death Star 1, I might be questioning them a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I could also defend my Episode 5 duel, too.
Imagine if they cut the rope.
Cut the rope. Obi-Wan should have done that, just because they just should go, the Tarzan roar. That's cool. Swinging Jedi, or Sith, or Jedi and Sith. Although at this point, I still would be considered Anakin a Dark Jedi, not a Sith yet.
No, he's a Dark Jedi when he kills, Well, that's the thing, though. He's a Dark Jedi when he attacks Mace. He's a Sith when he storms the Jedi Temple. He is totally a Sith the moment he does that. Which is the problem. They treat him like a Dark Jedi when he can't be a Dark Jedi. He's just too far.
Well, to be fair, to be a Sith, you gotta learn the rules and the etiquette. There's an entire way of doing things. You have to pick up your pink. You gotta hold your tea a certain way if you want to be a Sith. But
then again, the Sith constantly change themselves.
That's
in some ways.
But there's still certain rules.
I mean, he's become a Sith apprentice. He's not a Sith yet, but he's an acolyte.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between the acolyte. He is now Palpatine's apprentice. When he killed Mace, that was a Dark Jedi doing anything he could to save his wife. This is Palpatine's apprentice who wants to become his master's apprentice.
Oh, here comes ER. Here it is. This is the end of you, my master.
I love that line.
I do
Look at
too.
those two guys. What the heck are you doing?
But yeah, I love the fact that these two genuinely are friends in real life. Ewan and Hayden were legitimate friends, and were really close.
I wouldn't mind seeing
So-
Hayden come back as long as you give him a good acting coach and a good acting director.
Pair him off with Ewan, and then Ewan elevates him a lot.
And that
'Cause
just
again, these two are the legitimate friends, and it shows. It comes across like they're actual friends fighting to the death.
I don't know why.
Also,
but I
the
wanna
greatest thing ever, Obi-Wan.
I have the high
Don't
ground.
try it, Anakin. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
I don't like Anakin's line, but I do like Obi-Wan's.
You underestimate my power.
I don't like that line.
Don't try it.
Steve always makes fun of that line.
Didn't he say that himself?
Yes, he did.
And
Yeah, he's like, well, that's because I buy that Steve is Anakin. Steve is totally Anakin.
who's the
Not
Emperor?
whining Anakin, but betrays everyone because he feels like everyone's full of shit.
Put that
He's
on
totally
Twitter.
Anakin.
You need to put
He
that on
would
Twitter.
Totally betray Cap.
But who's the
You
Emperor?
were the chosen one.
But who's Obi-Wan in this
love
scenario?
This Ewan McGregor just this hits you right in the gut.
That's why
just-
we need the Obi-Wan spin-off film, which is probably going to happen.
This is so sad. And also, I love the fact that he grabs the lightsaber and just.
Yeah.
I love the fact that your father would have wanted you to have this.
Do you ever see the
Nice
meme?
one.
Do you ever see the memes where
He just cut. No. Oh, and the fact that he says "I hate you" and then Obi-Wan counters that with "I love you" is just Oh, it's so freaking heartbreaking.
Do you ever see the memes where like you see Anakin all burnt up and there's like a little line that says, "Hey, don't forget to give this to my kid in 20 years."
And yeah, the fact that just his scream. That's one thing Hayden does a really good job of is screaming.
And this film got its PG-13 rating. This is why it's
No, no,
PG-13.
no, no, no. This is way too far for PG, even in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be. I'm glad this it wasn't R, but this freaking terrified me as a kid. And what's
Yes,
weird is,
I
though, as a
wasn't
kid,
scared.
I skip.
I must have been
I
a pretty
was-
morbid little. I must have been a morbid little thing then.
I wasn't scared.
I know. I mean, you know,
I
I
was
watched
11,
this
so
over and
I saw
over.
some scary
But I'm
things.
trying to. You cut me off. I skipped Dooku's death, but I always watched this as a kid.
Really? Huh?
Mainly because I think it's because just how freaky. How did 3PO carry Padme?
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, how the heck did he get Padme on the ship?
Also, I love the fact that
Art's
he just pats them. Like he's just like, you did a decent job, 3PO. Also, I love those chords. Like those those chords are so modern. They
what if R2 dragged Padme onto the ship?
This is
he just like drags her. It's like somebody with a possible neck injury probably shouldn't be dragged like that. I mean, it's possible that the Mustafarians helped him, but
I don't know why, but I was reversed. I used to skip Anakin's death and just go. I could watch Dooku's pretty easily. I mean, I wasn't scared of both, but I liked the beginning of the film more anyway. So I kind of always kind of just.
well, dude, I was 5.
Well, that's true.
Beheading's kind of bad when you're 5.
I still
But yeah.
watched a lot of scary Disney films at the time, dude. There's some way freakier stuff than beheading.
Yeah, like Clayton's death in Tarzan beats that by
Oh,
a lot. I mean, he gets
No,
hanged for
I'm
Pete's
thinking
sake.
about like the first 5 minutes of The Great Mouse Detective. Try watching that.
Oh my gosh, I love this moment right here. This is a great scene.
Oh yeah. So
Anakin
it's-
dragging himself, and I love that about Anakin. It's like he just keeps fighting, and he doesn't let go. He just keeps his hate gives him power. He's fueled by it. I love that. Also, this shuttle is used a lot in Clone. This is the only appearance of this kind of shuttle in the movies. In fact, the cockpit's actually different in Clone Wars. There's 2 variants of the cockpit in Clone Wars.
well, this because this is the Emperor's private show, so it looks nicer probably. It's got a nice little couch.
Which I love the fact that they set up the things. Also, I
See,
love
I
the fact
like
that
the Emperor's robe
yes,
here.
shock troopers. I like the shock troopers.
Oh yeah, they talk. I like the
I don't
Emperor's
think
robe here.
when did Palpatine leave? Also, that was they look really good right there. Those shock troopers, the close-ups on them,
Yeah, they did.
that looked really good. Like
Mhm.
holy shit. Also, what's great is in the novelization, he actually was tempted to kill Vader right here because he was weak.
I have a question that I heard a discussion about earlier, so I wanted to get your guys' opinions, but that you read. Do you think Palpatine kind of cared about Anakin just a little bit, like saw him as like somewhat of a son? I mean, not like
I think-
No,
I don't know.
Huh?
Some people.
I mean he was about to kill him right there. Also, this scene is different in the final cut.
Qui-Gon was in it.
Yep, Qui-Gon's voice was supposed to be in that right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can even hear the voiceover in the deleted scenes.
Well, we know
Huh.
from the Darth Vader comic that Palpatine's still mad about Mustafar. That's like his greatest failure. 'Cause, Anakin was supposed to be this greatest, powerful Sith ever, and
And now he's severely wounded. But yeah, Polis Massa looks so awesome. Especially because the fact that this may be the Gree home world, or may have been a world that the Gree were on, and I think that's what the idea is. Like this is a very important part of the Star Wars universe.
Is this on Coruscant where they take Anakin to get the Darth Vader armor?
Yeah.
Oh, look, the V-wings! I never realized that there were Republic-colored V-wings.
Yeah.
Which, yes, this is Coruscant. This is actually a place that got breached in Labyrinth of Evil.
isn't this like supposed to be where the Emperor made his de facto palace for a little bit? In the
I don't know. This is where he meets with Dooku
really,
in
Ah.
episode 2. In episode 2.
I thought it was in the works. No, it's the works. This isn't the works.
This is in the works.
This isn't the works. It's the Palpatine Hospital.
Is it a different place?
Yeah, the works in the
Is it-
Palpatine Hospital.
Is it?
Yeah, the works is
Keep
a different.
talking.
Yeah, the works is a different place. So yeah, here comes the weird droid. They go, ooh ba, ooh ba, and then Padme's dying because she lost the will to live. Which there's like a few theories about this that Palpatine's slowly killing her, like messing with her midichlorians or stuff, or who knows what theory people believe nowadays. Losing the will to live scene makes no sense. Oh,
I would
love-
never want to get prosthetic limbs because that's gotta hurt.
Hmm.
Well, the way Palpatine's doing it probably hurts. I'm sure that the good guys do it. It's a little they knock you out
That's true.
because the Sith they love their pain. So you
Oh,
got
you're right. Though this wasn't Clone Wars. I was thinking of it from a different thing. This was from the other arc from that.
yeah. This is the Yoda one.
This is where he takes fives.
Oh right. Oh baby Luke. That means Luke's the
Oh
older
yeah,
brother.
Luke.
That means Luke's the older brother by about 5 minutes. I'm not a twin, but I know twins like making that joke. At least the ones I know on cartoons.
Also, what is she doing? What is the hand?
I don't know. It looks like a scooper.
Do
It
I
does look like a
want to
scooper.
know? Do I want to know?
Probably
No.
not.
Am I like that's
I don't
this
know.
is the least disgusting childbirth in a god.
So I got
Which-
a question for you. You probably don't.
I love
like
the fact that it's like Luke, Leia, and one day these kids will make out.
Yeah.
So you probably don't like the fact that you see
Also,
Vader
this is
being
awesome right here.
the red eye.
The fact that you see the red, and the fact that it sets up why the red lenses exist. Even though the lenses aren't red here, it gives an explanation as to why, possibly.
So you probably don't like the fact Vader gets born the day and Padme die at the same time with that paralleling stuff.
What?
I was just saying I don't know if you like the idea of Padme dying the same time as Vader being born at the same.
I like it. It's a really cool parallel.
Okay,
It is a nice parallel.
and here's one of the few shots of Darth Vader that a lot of people got mad at because we wanted to see him in the entire film.
Which I don't get why, because I almost feel it's too quick.
I don't know because
Well, that's
We
because
like
there's
our
some
Vader.
that's because there's some waste of time earlier.
I feel like if you I don't know well. There's always that idea some people have I talk to where they want Vader to slowly become Vader, like add on more arms and more mechanicalness to him as he. But that'd be
Yeah.
rewriting the entire prequel trilogy.
Yeah, and I don't like that idea. I actually preferred one big event that just he completely like. I like the idea of it's one thing that then there's no going back from. He crosses the line though, but that's the problem is he I don't know. We already talked about that in depth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna, I think
Vader.
this entire commentary is just gonna be us repeating that same point.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes another scene from the Darth Vader comics, which is awesome, where Palpatine lies.
I love how he waits a few seconds before, which it's James Earl Jones. Yay!
Yay.
I was I honestly wasn't disappointed when I saw Little of Vader, but maybe that's because I was so excited to see him at the time. I didn't comprehend the fact that we only get like 5 seconds of him in full Vaderness.
Yeah, but I think because we were so ingrained in like the toys and the video games that we saw so much of him.
That is true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was 11. I wasn't thinking. Oh, I love this scene how it parallels to the Vader comic. Well, even though
Also, I love how he crushes all this stuff.
I
Like, I
love
really
the
like
Emperor's
that.
smile right here.
oh yeah, it's
Oh
awesome.
gosh, yeah, this is awesome. I don't get why people hate this scene so much. I get the no is cheesy, but Palpatine's smile is brilliant.
I think
It
it's
is.
because of the. I think it is
And
the
the sh-
no. Or maybe they just
Yeah,
don't
I
like
know.
the idea of Vader being, all depressed about losing his girlfriend. Wife.
Like, yeah, I mean, him being sad over the death of his wife, that's just silly.
I don't know. They didn't like the romance to begin with.
I know, but I am saying no. I know. Which this is an awesome scene. Also, Padme's body probably would have like. I don't know. This was a long. Well, no, it wouldn't have that long of a flight. But I love how Obi-Wan's robes are still burnt.
What, you think her
But then
body
they
would be...
aren't. But I don't think they are when he's on Tatooine.
Well, he got an extra spare from Bail Organa. I don't know.
Yeah, Bail Organa has an extra spare of Obi-Wan Kenobi's cloak thing. Yeah, that's totally sensible.
Futuristic dry cleaning. It's the way of the future.
Futuristic diagram.
Oh, and this moment right here is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people don't like this. I think they're full of shit. This is one of my favorite moments.
I don't know why.
Because this blew my mind as a kid.
I don't know why. I think the idea of... I mean, you have to learn how to be a Force Ghost from
The old
somewhere.
friend has learned the path to immortality.
Now, here's a
Like,
question. How did Qui-Gon
like
learn the
Christopher
path to immortality?
Of course, your old master. I love Ewan McGregor's face. Like, just the fact that he's just like, what? Like, that, I really like that.
Oh, yeah, that's great. But so, I always
Like,
wondered...
Especially because he actually, it's not like with He is. Oh, this is Captain Antilles.
Did they ever
Uh,
explain how Qui-Gon discovered the Force Ghost's power?
yeah, he was studying the wills of the Force.
Oh, okay. So this was just something he was doing on his off time.
Well, yeah, that's why he wasn't part of the council. It's because he was doing this, and the Jedi thought it was pseudoscience, so they kicked him out.
Ah, gotcha. So
Okay.
Here's something funny. They show Padme's parents and cousins as if we're supposed to know them because they were in a deleted
I
scene.
know, and they cut
And
the
there's-
scene they were in.
And there's the only time we see Jar Jar in the movie, which is kind of a good thing.
No. We see him in that scene at the beginning with Bale.
And
Oh, really?
Bosnos.
Also, I like the fact that they actually explain how they did all this. There's that guy from episode 1. But they actually explain how like they faked the fact that she was still pregnant and everything. In
The Vader comic.
no. In the Last of the Jedi books. Oh, and I love this with the V-Wings, which this scene has to have taken place a long time later because in the new canon at
Look,
least.
there's Tarkin. There's Tarkin. See, this
Yep,
is how I
there's
think they're
Tarkin.
gonna do
There's
Tarkin in
Tarkin.
Rogue One. They're gonna do something like this in Rogue One with Tarkin, I think, or use a hologram, something akin, because he looks like a young Peter Cushing.
Well, from a distance, yeah.
From a distance, yeah.
I've seen close-ups of that guy. He doesn't really. But yeah, this scene has to take place a long time later.
I saw cool artwork of this and it looks so cool. Just Palpatine and the Emperor looking all evil looking.
Wait, what?
And is this our only shot of Alderaan?
Yes,
Yes.
this is the only shot of Alderaan in the entirety of the trilogy. No, sorry, saga.
Well, we get to see the outside of Alderaan, so that's a
Come
technically
on.
a shot.
I love the architecture of this. Like, you get why it's called the Jewel of the Galaxy.
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
it is beautiful.
It's pretty.
I would love to build a sub. Well, actually, you could build a home on Alderaan in the Old Republic.
Oh, really?
It just costs a lot of money. I have a home on Dramon Kos, and
Why would you? Oh, of course you would. Of course.
well, yeah, and I have a home on Coruscant, but that's it.
I'd like to get a home on Alderaan, retire there. Oh wait, that'd be a bad idea.
What's funny is the most expensive is Tatooine, which yay, there's baby Leia, and then this right here. This is the perfect way to end this film, and it's just. This is why I still don't consider episodes. This is why I like the fact that Episode 7 isn't Episode 7. It's The Force Awakens.
Well, to be fair, they're not. They originally weren't supposed to be episodes. They just wanted to call them the Star Wars.
They still kind of are. Like it's still not Episode 7. It's still technically called The Force Awakens. Episode 7 is just a side title.
It's
And I
funny how
like
though
that.
that we're calling Episode 8 Episode 8 right now. I just find that
That's
funny.
because we have no other title to call it. But what's great is this is the end of the Star Wars saga. This is full circle, and I love that. It's just a beautiful. This is the full circle of the Star Wars saga. Luke Skywalker dropped off, and and in the binary sunset, and Obi-Wan watching, and I love that final shot. Just that's the Star Wars saga has come full, fully has come around, and
Sure.
that's why I like Episode 7. But I consider it to be. I don't consider it to be part of the Star Wars saga. I consider it to be a spin-off that takes place later.
I consider it to be
It's its own saga. It's the beginning of a new
or own
saga.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Although they probably will make it a saga eventually.
They'll probably make another trilogy afterwards that takes place immediately after.
Well, that's what I've always told people.
Probably.
I've always said that Episode 7 is both not and is not a continuation of Return of the Jedi, even though it is and isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not episodes. It isn't Episode 7, but it's just called. But in that sort of
It's
same
a
way.
sequel. It's not. Or it's a story that's set afterwards, but it's not a sequel.
Yeah, which is both a good and a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. From a certain point of view. I love that Robot Chicken line song.
But yeah. So
Yay! Episode 3.
thoughts on Episode 3?
Still really good. I still really like it. It's fun. I still think I like the original trilogy. Probably a teeny bit better, but I still really like Episode 3 a lot.
We'll rank the Star Wars films.
Oh, okay. Episode 2, Episode 1, Episode 3.
Episode 2's your favorite?
No. I'm sorry.
I know,
I'm
I know.
I'm going from least to most favorite, sorry. From least to most favorite, 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6.
Okay, so from least to most favorite.
If you
Yeah.
want to do that, you can go the opposite way.
Okay, from I'm gonna go best to worst.
Sure.
Episode 6, 5, 3, 1, and 2.
You skipped some, dude.
Did I?
You skipped
Yeah.
7, 4,
Oh yeah. Oh, I skipped 4. Darn it. Okay, let me do it again.
and 7.
Right. 6, 5, 7, 3, 4, 2. What? No, 1, 2.
Okay, for me, it's
Best to worst?
from worst to best.
Okay.
It's 2, 1. Oh, I just realized there's chorus in the end credits. But for me, it's 2, 1, 4. No, sorry. 6, 4, 3, 7.
You put 7 high.
Sorry, 5. 5 is the number 1.
You skipped 7 then.
I would go 7, then 5.
Oh, so 7's still high for you still. Weird.
It's still the second best, yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I would agree with people who say that, technically.
Yeah.
I think like 4.
I can't put it above Empire, but I can. It's tied with 3
Interesting.
in some ways.
That's interesting.
Interesting given your point of view, but okay. I still have a lot of nostalgia for 4 and 6. And we'll get there when we get there.
Right.
But yeah, 3, I mean, I think the weird thing for me is that if you consider, for me, it's like, if we had like a scale, like 2 would be like at the very pit bottom, 1 would be like a few inches up, and then 3 would be like at the tippy top, but not too top. It's like, you have the originals, which are on the top, you have 7, which is sort of in between 4 and 5, and you have 3, which is a little bit below 4, then you have a big drop to 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that kind of rating. It's sad that you only have like 7 films, so like when you put something low, it feels like you're putting it really low when it's really not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is there anything else y'all want to talk about?
Well, we throw like just overall thoughts on the movie. Again, I like what I said before. I think the sums justify the parts.
I agree. As a whole, this was an enjoyable experience. I realize it's not the best Star Wars film, but there's fun to be had, and I think that's what a lot of people forget.
It's definitely one I can easily put on and watch without, you know.
Exactly. You can
Also,
have it on
unlike
the
Episode 7, I think some of its more dramatic and sad scenes actually earn being dramatic and sad. I'm looking at you, Destruction of the Hassanin system.
Oh well, I can understand that part, but
Yeah.
I get that part. Like, I mean, we can, yeah, I can agree with that part. I was thinking some other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I can put in Episode 3.
Yeah, I mean, post X-Wing getting blown up is really sad.
Well, we'll get there later.
I want more blue X-Wings.
I do like blue X-Wings. They are cool.
They're actually gonna make a Lego figure for that this year.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really? Nice.
For the
But
blue
yeah,
one.
I've always said I can put in Episode 3 and just watch it. Like, Episode 1, I feel like it's more of a thing I can watch when it's on TV. Like, oh, it's Episode 1 on TV, I'll watch that, sure, kill some time. Episode 2, I can't, unless I really just want to see the Battle of Geonosis. But even then, I'll just YouTube it. I'll YouTube
The Star
it.
Wars ones are never on TV.
Not anymore. I think they're trying to find a new channel. But yeah, Episode 3 I can easily put in on the DVD, just watch it. I love the beginning part, like you said. I always will agree. The first act is the best part of the movie.
I mean, in terms of just acts of the Star Wars films, I would put the first act of this movie above the first act of 6,
Oh
the
yeah.
second act of 6.
I don't like the first act.
Probably like the third act of 4.
I can't remember all the acts, so sorry, buddy. Like you know more.
Probably all of 2, and all of 1. So yeah, I think the first act of this is probably stronger than all of the acts in Star Wars films, except for the final act of 6, the first 2 acts of 4, maybe, and then obviously 5 in its entirety.
I can't beat 5. 5 is perfection.
Yeah.
Well, or at least
Mhm.
close to perfection in a Star Wars film. So
Yeah.
We'll get to that in
So
two films.
yeah, I can't really say anything except I do like what you said that this is the definitive end of the Star Wars saga. Unless you watch it in movie order, I mean canonical order. My bad.
Mhm.
Then you
But
six.
so like just thinking about like the state of just how this film was marketed and like after it even came out, just it felt like it was a nice, refreshing. Just this is the end of the films.
Until it wasn't, and that
Well,
was because
the thing is,
Yeah.
Episode 7 is not really the continuation. It's another side thing.
it's a semi re yeah.
It's a reboot.
It's not
Well,
a reboot.
it's not a reboot. It's
Well,
a
not a reboot,
it's
but
a spin-off.
It's the expanded universe of films, I guess. I don't know how you would define it, but yeah, it's just Star Wars. This is
This is the Skywalker saga. This is
Yeah.
the Star Wars saga.
taken in Kingdom Hearts terms, Cole. Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be the end of the Xehanort saga. Although I personally.
exactly.
So yeah, so everything else is something else. But yeah, I think we've said everything we need to say. Did anyone else have like one more thought before I turn off the recording?
If you're gonna watch this at least once in your life, then do it. It's enjoyable, and I think if you go into this with the idea of having fun, I think you'll enjoy this movie.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I would just say. A part of me almost wanted to say you can almost watch this without seeing episodes 2 and 1. You definitely skip 1 a little bit.
Mm.
I would. I think you could. A little bit. I mean, you don't really get much out of Count Dooku and Grievous anyway.
Yeah, but then stuff like the Jedi getting killed kind of relies upon you knowing those characters from the previous two films
That's true.
A little bit, yeah.
and being familiar with the state of the galaxy.
I guess so. I've heard people say they can do it. So, that's my advice to yes. But yeah. Episode 3, the best of the prequels. Probably one of my favorites. And I guess that's it, because I can't think of anything else, and this recording's going to be a long time to upload for me. Yep.
Well, I'm the one uploading it, so.
Alright, well, I have to drag the picture.
I get the short end of the stick. I'm living it.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, well actually we need to stay on Skype and talk while that connects.
Alright, so, should we sign off, everyone?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
signing off. Goodbye.